There are important games and really important games. And then there's the Showdown. It began in 1997.
Terrific scene. Showdown 1, historic day.
A pumped-up Port jumped the Crows.
Here's Franco, drives it, goal! Yes! Brewer, normally a good finisher, he's got it.
Whilst a spirited tussle took place between Scotty Cummings and Rod Jamieson.
Oh, they're still fighting down there. The Battle of Adelaide has been fought and won.
From that encounter onwards, the Showdown has been an institution.
Modra's going to fly at the back, up he goes! Oh, yes!
He's the most popular man in Adelaide tonight, there he is. He's the Messiah.
South Australian match of the century is underway. I reckon he's been picked up by Pickett. This is a big hit. He's out cold. McLeod now. Not a bad effort. Pound the net. Adelaide's night. They've scored a massive victory.
Big hits,
Jericho down. One of the greatest wins in the Adelaide Crows history. In Showdown 24. It was a classic.
Siren sounds. Victory number 1 for Matty Primus. What a champion he is. He's 19 years of age.
And what a historic victory.
From there, Eddie. Oh, it's his field of dreams.
But some things are more important than winning. Some events are bigger even than football. Today's Showdown is a coming together of two clubs who are sharing the pain. The loss of Phil Walsh has been felt across the country, but especially so in Adelaide. Phil had a deep connection with both the Port Adelaide Power and the Adelaide Crows. He was highly regarded, much loved, and now deeply, deeply missed. Today, the players, staff, and fans of both clubs remember a man who made a great contribution to the game and to so many lives. Two proud clubs come together to compete in the spirit of football. Showdown 39 is Phil's match.
It is a different Showdown, there's no doubt about that, but once that ball is bounced, it will feel like so many of the others because there's so much to play for today. There always is when Port Adelaide plays against the Crows. Wingard's had 5 Brownlow votes in his last 3 matches against the Crows, and Dangerfield's had 7 in his last 7. His last 2 weeks have been spectacular with 32 and 36. We expect both of those players to be keys today. Rory Sloane joins Lee Matthews and myself for Showdown number 39. You must be frustrated, I know. It's the big match, and this is something different again, Rory.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have certainly been hard to watch, I suppose, as a player and as a leader, because when you saw the emotions the guys went through after the game last week, and the immediate feeling is you just want to help those guys out any way you possibly can. So, look, I've been pushing the doctors hard to try and let me play and run round again, because this is one game I certainly didn't want to miss, but have to be smart about it also, because it's second time I've done the same injury.
Well, just quickly on that, is there a chance you can come back a bit earlier than expected, and is there a chance you might wear a helmet?
Look, I'm exploring those options at the moment. I'm sort of doing anything I can. I even went in the other day and found a little face mask that the basketballers wear, but look, the medical advice I'm getting on that is they don't actually have too much protection for you. Still with a big impact, the same sort of injury might occur.
One of the things that hit me when the team walked off the field last week, that they were together, they were sharing a terrible, sort of tragic emotional state, but it's amazing how that brings a bond. They're all sharing the same emotion.
Yeah, it was certainly probably one of the hardest games I think I've ever been involved in, and I can't imagine how hard. Yeah, I went over and watched and wanted to support the boys as much as I could, because I knew it was going to be hard for them as well, but look, the club have been absolutely incredible. Been so proud to be involved in a football club. They actually flew over the guys' partners, parents, any family that wanted to come over and just help support the boys after the game. And look, that was a great moment after the game that we all shared, and I think it might have helped us take just one step forward to try and move on.
And Port Adelaide were in a similar boat, and we saw their emotion after their win. I know the Indigenous players have got together. We've got Elder Park happening today and all of that. Let's talk about the game for a moment. Patrick Dangerfield's always a key. He can run and carry, he can play anywhere basically. I mean, the role he might play today, Rory?
Yeah, look, I'm expecting through the midfield again. He's been playing really solid footy for us through there at the moment, and just his power out of stoppages is I mean, his ability to win the ball on the ground, to pull it out and then get up and run is just phenomenal. And it's why we love playing with him. And he's certainly going to be a key for us today, just to get us going in there, because last week you saw we got really touched up in stoppages against West Coast, who are a great stoppage team. Port Adelaide are the same. They're a very good stoppage team, so we need to get the ball in our forward half. He's
a very flexible player, and he can play sort of most positions. What aspect of his game do you think benefits the Crows the most, that you want to see that aspect today?
I think just his speed out of stoppages and his ability to take the game on and move forward. A lot of the times people do like to handball backwards and that sort of thing, but Danger actually grabs it and runs at the game, takes the game on, moving forward, and as I said, we need to get the ball forward.
Yeah, he'll be a huge part today. Both the teams shortly to come out. Rory's going to stay with us. Hamish Hartlett could also play a big role today.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a barometer for us. He's quite physical in most parts of his game.
He's one of our most damaging players.
Really break the lines and open up a game.
Runs through the ball, never scared of a contest.
Hartlett high, that is an incredible goal!
He adds that little bit of extra speed on the outside, that extra bit of ferocity at the ball, and just creates opportunities for other players to play well. He's one of those guys that when he's up and going, he can really change a game.
Hartlett to roll it through!
His biggest weapon is obviously his leg.
His kick's one of the best going around, so we like to get the ball in his hands.
And not only can he kick the ball a long way, but he kicks it very, very accurately. Often licking my lips when I see him coming running out of the middle or down the wing.
Hartlett can kick a long ball, sizes them up, nails a monster!
So live shots here. I've got to say, Rory Sloane sitting alongside Lee and I, just about jumping out of his chair. There's one place he'd love to be right now is there.
I'm getting a bit emotional almost. That's this place more than any I'd want to be right now.
What about Scott Camporetti? Just a line or two. What's he been like?
Oh, he's been incredible. I mean, as I said before, the whole footy club's been amazing, and Scott's obviously taken on a huge workload, and we might have to look after his 3 little kids for him, because they might miss Daddy a little bit over the next 8 weeks.
Riley Knight's a guy that's a bit new to all of us, but he made his debut and did pretty well last week.
Yeah, he kicked a couple of goals. He's probably one of our most improved players throughout the whole summer and the whole season so far. Look for his hard running today. He's absolute jet. He's got a huge engine. He'll run all day, and hopefully kick a couple of goals for us like he did last week.
It's a different day today. We know that both clubs will come together before the match. I mean,
it's good practice for the grand final, Rory, because they make you wait there so that you go out at a designated time. So clearly both teams have to wait to go out at the same time today. So that's why it's a different pre-game.
Well, we're all about preparing for a grand final. So this is
And is this the arch enemy for you? Is this the team that you like the least in the AFL, Port Adelaide?
Probably not. I've got a huge amount of respect for Port, especially the way they've gone about it the last few years. And it does get pumped up, the rivalry that we have against it. But we do see these guys a lot and do spend a lot of time with guys like Boki and those sort of guys as well. So huge amount of respect for Port. But obviously when that ball bounces, it's game on, and it's going to be huge.
Where do you think Adelaide can get an edge today?
I think, as I said before, if we can really get on top of stoppages, I think Sammy Jacobs is going to be very important for us to give us first use in the midfield. And if we get that ball moving forward and can lock it in, that's what we did last time, but just couldn't quite put the score on the board.
Seen it before, the shake of the hand. Your thoughts on the match?
There's just so much respect between both clubs at the moment, and fans as well. The whole of South Australia's really looked after each other, but now it's game time, and I'm expecting a fierce competition between both sides.
Rory, you're going down to the ground. Nick Maxwell's made his way down there. You're with Kenny Higley, Nick.
Well, Kenny, what an emotional few weeks, mate.
Yeah, it has been, Maxie. It's been pretty tough for everyone involved. Hope that both sides go today and play a fierce, contested game of football. You know, at the end of the day, we can come out in front. That's what we're hoping for.
I again, all the Phil Walsh stuff aside, mate, it's a huge game for the Port Adelaide Footy Club and also for Adelaide because it really is season on the line stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those significant games in a footy season, and for us, hopefully, as I said, we'll play the football that will make us proud, and then we'll come away with a win.
Good luck today.
Thanks, mate.
So there's the Port Adelaide lineup. Cracker comes in and Young. So the two changes. Same with the Crows are made too. Van Buren not playing. It's a pretty big call. Pittard, of course, the injury for Port. That's a big one because with no Carlisle, Jonas has been dropped. So it's a different looking defence for them. So maybe that it could be vulnerable for them.
Trent Gove is back from injury the last week or two, but Westop always seems to be the player that is the barometer for them. And whether he can have a good the Adelaide lineup as we see there, Rory can help talk us through it in a way. I mean, really, the Betts Walker forward combination hasn't quite been fired in the last month.
No, we expected to though. As I said before, especially if our midfielders can get on top. We brought in Brodie Martin, who's a very smart footballer, can play that wing role really well for us. And Rory Atkins is a sub who has got a really classy left foot.
Where do you watch it from today, Rory?
I'll be sitting in the coach's box today. I don't know how much quality moves I can provide in there, but certainly a great spot to watch it. I don't know how I'd go sitting amongst the Port crowd today. It's a bit different for me sitting at a Adelaide Oval game and not being our home one.
All the best, mate. We really appreciate your time. So Showdown 39 about to commence. A showdown with a difference, and this man may play a pivotal role. He often does. Chad Wingard.
Into the pocket. No way. Wingard nails the goal. Wingard will run into an open goal. Wingard. No way. Staggering. Wingard. Kick is on the way. It looks pretty good. It's quality. Wingard under pressure. Doesn't matter.
He's kicked his fourth. Wingard. What a champion he is. He's 19 years of age. He's the most important footballer right now in this state.
Knocked away from Cameron. Eddie Betts, the spin, the kick, the delightful Eddie Betts at his best. Eddie Betts in a one-on-one. Eddie the Crumb dances around a couple, bounces it home. Whoa. Eddie shrugs the tackle. Could he from there? Eddie! Oh, it's his field of dreams. Eddie Betts doesn't go up, he stays down. Here's his moment from his pocket.
Ah, yes, Chad versus Eddie. It could be one of the real highlights. A different day, a special day, an appropriate detente between these two clubs. Eddie Betts, 13 goals in 3 showdowns, including 5 in the round 5 loss earlier this year. Huge crowd inside the Adelaide Oval, as is an appropriate tribute on an occasion like this. Nick Maxwell is with us, and also Mark Soderstrom from 7 News. And Soders, you've been here for these very turbulent weeks. Huge crowd inside and a big crowd of Adelaide people outside the ground as well. Welcome to you.
Yeah, thanks, Baz. Look, an amazing atmosphere, Maxie, isn't it, right now? And the theme for the day for both clubs is to celebrate Phil Walsh's life, not to mourn his death. And part of the tributes, Maxie, and you're going to be involved in this. This is the Phil Walsh medal, so they've renamed the Showdown medal the Phil Walsh medal for today. And you're part of the selection panel, so you're going to choose one of the guys who will be wearing this at the end of the day.
I am, yeah. Big responsibility, obviously huge game, and I mean, just amazing to see what the footy community's done over the last few weeks to really pay tribute to Phil Walsh. And look, I think both sets of ruckman for each team are going to have a huge impact on this game. I think they've been very quiet by their lofty standards. I expect Lobie and Ryder for Port Adelaide, and also big Sammy Jacobs to have a huge influence.
So both teams gathering in their respective huddles, and there is one final tribute to come. First, the toss of the coin.
It's a call, and it's a head it is. Thanks, guys.
So perhaps appropriately, Adelaide winning the toss. They will kick to the left of screen. Elder Park is where the crowd is gathered outside the ground. Bruce, just a drop kick or two away from the Adelaide Oval.
Yes, that's for sure. Basil.
So the opening bounce here. Showdown 39. It's a number, but this means so much to both clubs for more than one reason. So maybe appropriately, Gray, who won the medal earlier this year. The players, coaches, player of the season last year gets the first real disposal of the match. Wide to Westhoff. Well done, Hardigan. McKay. Good hands, Douglas. So a couple of the veterans getting involved early. Douglas wide to Lynch.
Thank you, Robbie. That's a mark. Play on.
It's important, I think, Lynch. He's a bit of a barometer. It's a good kick to Walker. And then Walker quickly to the pocket. Gee, that was smooth, wasn't it? It's a great kick, and then Jenkins on the end of it.
It comes from the kick inboard. It's always a dangerous kick if you're going from outside in towards the centre square. But if you can get the ball, as the Crows did, to Walker, all of a sudden it opens up all angles in your forward 50, and that's when the defence, who are tending to try and zone off rather than play man-to-man, have trouble finding the target. Good mark by Jenkins, good pass by Walker.
So let's see, he's a good kick, Jenkins. This will take something. Gee, struck it well. I said Lynch is a barometer. This is another guy. I mean, he's kicked a goal in every game, Jenkins. He's doesn't get a lot of disposal. He is a good kick.
No, he's been pretty good, Jenkins, as I guess a backup. I mean, Walker's still a main man down there, but it's good that both of the key forwards got involved in that play. Jenkins kicked the goal, Walker set it up for him, so that when you don't get a lot of the ball, the longer the game goes before you bet a bit of it, the more the pressure builds. So a pressure release for the Crows key forwards.
So Josh Jenkins, 4 showdowns, he's kicked at least a goal in each of them, and well, just the perfect start for the Adelaide Crows. Jacobs wins that one. Bogue maybe taken high. Thompson had him, was fierce in there. Dangerfield, Jacobs, Douglas again with the clearance. Good kick towards half forward. Now Lynch, tough one to negotiate. He leaves it in the end for Walker. Outside 50, lowered the eyes a little, went for Jenkins again. This is good, out of defence. Clearing kick, Hartlett, and the ball now. Tough one for the second game of night. Did well to Lever, playing in his 6th game. Some inexperienced players out there in a big occasion. Douglas, the high ball. Walker, slow. Impey got him from behind. That was Thompson. Boak now with the football. Good hard footy, as we would have expected, Lee.
Yeah, they've jumped into it as the rivalry off-field might not be as bitter, according to Rory Sloan pre-game, but certainly you always know that on-field the contest will be on as soon as the siren sounds.
Boak and Dangerfield, and then McKay turning in the tackle with Wingard.
Pin mine. Straight back.
Jacobs, 3rd man up was Wines. Thompson belting forward. Walker's been good early. Betts clever. Doesn't quite get away with it, though. It was Cracker's kick, not 15. Wines held up, holds everybody up. He's a big boy. And another stoppage. Adelaide with the opening goal. Spectacular kick by Jenkins. Ebert.
Cracker's actually gone to Eddie Betts, and straight away they cleared out the forward line, had Eddie Betts out of the square with Nathan Cracker. He's working his way up a little bit, so Adelaide like that matchup.
Maxey on the boundary there.
So Dangerfield ends up with a footy, not a great kick, and Hartlett had bobbled around. He's playing the sweeper back there and wants to go quickly. Broadbent, close to the boundary line. Trengove, and now 50.
It's interesting that Adelaide set up the 7th defender behind the centre square at the centre bounces, but if that allows Hartlett to be able to float as the 6th for an spare for Port, that will be a problem, I would have thought, for the Crows.
So Charlie Cameron just a little too exuberant, and Port Adelaide now with a chance for the first real time to go inside 50. Monfries, it's a bouncing ball, tough one, slapped forward. And Brown wrapped up by Impey, and up it will come again.
Port are very good in this area. I always look for Gray and Wingard here, Lee.
Yep. No, so got some really freaky players in these forward 50 stoppages.
Holding Adelaide. Arms around.
Gee, that releases some pressure, doesn't it? With a ruck. Free kick to Jacobs against Lobie. Rory Sloane pre-match talked about the importance of Jacobs today and how he might provide something. Smith, he's a barometer. That's a good kick. To Martin. Not the quickest player, but he's a good footballer in terms of decision-making. And that one, Cameron just bubbled away with Hartland the ball in. Fantastic crowd here. You'd expect that, but it doesn't look like there is a seat vacant. We often say that, don't we? But
couldn't get a better day. It's just fantastic. Blue sky, calm breeze. Fantastic day for a game of footy.
Out the back then again. Monfrey's clearing kick. Wingard, Hardigan needed to go quickly. Here's Martin driving the Crows forward again. Backing back, tough ball to mark for Homsch. Eddie Betts, bottom of the pack. Cameron swoops, brilliant pickup. Now the kick, the next one, knocked away. Well done, shot on goal, coming back. Crouch has kicked it.
It's a good kick too, Baz. Very important. They're the 50-50s, aren't they? In fact, both Crows' goals have been probably 50-50 at best today. That's the wrong side for Crouch. He's a lefty. And his brother, of course, is the more famous one, so to speak. Better known. This young boy, he's only 20 years of age, but he averages over 20 disposals. He's a workhorse, a real workhorse.
They've got a fairly quick forward 50 entry, the Crows, so there's no really defensive structure. Plenty of numbers back, but plenty of space. And Crouch, really good finish under pressure.
It's a good start here for Adelaide. Lobie over the top. Dangerfield doesn't quite get a handle on it. Unusual for him. A couple of fumbles. Still gets his kick in the forward 50. Jenkins there with Trengove. Homsch. Walker. Cracker. Down the centre. Good kick as it turned out. Schulz. It's where Port can play some exhilarating football. Gray. Stewart was looking, goes back to Boak. In good hands here, you'd think, with Boak. Kicks to full forward. Ryder's in a beautiful spot. There's a raw way to kick, Lee. It was always going to get to Ryder.
Yeah, as we know so often, it's not so much the forward leading at the kicker, it's actually kicking the ball into the space over the top, and the defender trying to get back, but just really out-positioned. It's a really good shot, this, to behind the goal vision. We see Ryder. He said, just kick it behind me and make it really tough for Lever to get back.
He kicked 3 in the first showdown. It's probably his best match, to be honest. He's been a bit interrupted with an Achilles. He hasn't had quite the impact I think everyone thought he might, but he played very well in the first showdown. Has he missed it?
A bad miss.
Gee, that is
Yeah, well, I think his best position is as a 80% ruckman, and of course Lobie's already there for Port, so at the moment they're trying to fit him in as more a forward who relieves in the ruck. Hasn't worked so far.
Ryder's last 6 scoring shots have been behind, so inaccurate again. Charlie Cameron, who's been lively up forward, a long way from home now. Knight, second gamer, as we said, good attack on the footy. They like the young man. He's a real goer, Hartlett. That was sweet. Quick ball movement from Need. Now Ebert. Good tackle right. And holding the ball, the call. So Knight again gets it across to Thompson. Now the ball down towards half forward, and that's a good mark by Cleary, just filling in the gaps.
To Lobie, to Homsch. So Port on the burst. O'Shea, just his 3rd game. He was very good last week. Check sides the ball to half forward. Lever and Ryder. Douglas. He's played in a lot of these, Douglas. Lynch doesn't take the mark. Jacobs, well, he had led for the handball. He decides to go wide to the skip. And the big Tex. And it's out of play, so boundary throw in. Kicking efficiency's been a problem for both these teams, Lee, this year, but I reckon Adelaide off the boot have looked good so far.
I think it'll be pretty good today because the game is a flowing, the free-flowing kind of football. There hasn't been a whole lot of stoppages yet, so the ball is moving from end to end. A lot of both teams prepared to have a go through the centre square.
So Lobie worked his way in front. Jacobs probably got his hand to that ball. Ebert overran the footy. Dangerfield. really burrowing in hard. His football in the middle third of this season's been terrific. Henderson now, Brown under pressure, lost that foot, he's gathered it in again. This will be an interesting call, just lost it at the last moment, and as a result the umpire will send it up again. Umpires today, Du Bois, Schmidt and Ryan. So Adelaide by 11 points.
Lee, it's the closest thing you can feel to a final. That's the way it feels.
Yeah, there's plenty of pressure, plenty of intensity, big crowd. Yeah, no, it's...
and it feels like
that pressure. Well, you know, players know there's the pressure on them. I mean, most games of footy are like that, but the big crowd, the atmosphere always just exaggerates that a little further.
And blue skies in September.
All that stuff, yeah. All the markers.
October this year, Bruce.
That's right. There's a few finals before that, though, Baz. I don't think either of these are going to be playing in October this year, but I could be wrong. Here's Boak. They want to get to September, don't they? O'Shea. Monfries. Hartlett. Now he's got a weapon, Hartlett has caught his kick. Let's see if he can use this. Decides to go long and put it to a contest. Ryder again the target. He had 3 crows to beat. Ebert on the up. Decides to take them on. Good release from Laird. Crouch. Jacobs. Ebert again. Ball near the boundary. And it's right forward pocket. Port Adelaide attacking.
It's funny, isn't it, Bruce? I mean, you mentioned how big this occasion is. And what about Rory Atkins, turned 21 last Sunday, makes his debut in what is one of the most significant showdowns, as close as you could get to making your debut in a big final. He's the sub at the moment, so we'll get his opportunity. Crouch, got it forward from Lever, still at the bottom of that pack.
Straight up, please.
Never been a final... the two teams haven't played a Adelaide final once. I'm trying to think.
Yep, the semi-final at Amy and Adelaide actually had a big win.
The Jacobs wins that one right. And Henderson, the quick kick out. Walker had it knocked away, but he's got the recovery, his Tex. Just a little fumble, and then he kicks down the line. Good kick. And Charlie Cameron, who's been lively now, he's got a player on, can go quickly, and he does. A short ball. He's been good, Riley Knight, hasn't he? Really prominent in his second game.
This is where they're going to be patient because Crows have, so the Port have got the extra number back.
So he's got Eddie running in support, and they can go to Lynch now on the overlap. And that was a clever kick if it was intended. Wright didn't mark, maybe taken high by Impey. No free. Cameron gives it back to Wright. And now Thompson around the corner. Tough one to mark. Comes out towards Lobe. Taken to the ground. Big tackle. It's not coming out of there.
Good pick up by Lobe.
Let him up, let him up.
Got down low. It was a terrific tackle. It might have been McKay.
It was Knight, Bruce.
Again, so Riley Knight making an impact. Betts, Gray, clever and close, but not far. And Henderson has got the distance from here.
Round your mark.
Yes, the quick kick round the centre corridor, most sides in that part of the ground, when you're defending and you're in deep, you've got the numbers in there to help. If you are under pressure, kick the ball out wide, because the problem is to get down the centre corridor. Long shot, but plenty of goal face open.
Averages just over a goal in the 8 showdowns that he's played so far. This is his 9th today. He is a good running kick, Henderson. And he's got it. And Adelaide have got a good start. Conversion, I reckon you've been talking about conversion ever since I've known you, Lee. I mean, Ryder misses at the other end. A pretty easy shot.
Oh, yeah.
And Adelaide have kicked 3 goals that were probably 50-50.
Well, harder shots. The easiest shot of the 4 shots at goal has been the Port Adelaide one from 15 metres out.
Yep.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. The setting up the shots is always hard, but the conversion of them wins more games of football than any other single stat.
So just a glorious day, and it's been a glorious start by the Adelaide Crows. 3 straight. Port just the one behind. Jenkins and Ryder. They fight a draw, but the umpire's seen an infringement. Didn't like the way Jenkins went about it that time, and Ryder with a free kick. He kicks into Jenkins, so not a lot going right for Port Adelaide at the moment. Lines over the footy. Dangerfield, he just wanted it more. Took it off him. Got it to Thompson. They are ferocious at the footy at the moment. That kick not quite making it out where it needed to from Douglas. So Martin had a lot of work to do. Now Ebert on the counter-attack. Going back, Archie, not quite. It just didn't sit for him. It probably had a little bit too much on it. A second behind now for Port Adelaide.
Gone pretty small in their forward line, Port, here for the moment. Schulz, the one tall. Hardigan, well done there by, speak of the Schulz, and a boundary throw in. He's such a barometer. When he kicks multiple goals, they generally win.
Well, most forwards like that. If you can get 3 or 4 goals out of your big forward, it starts to build your total on the scoreboard.
Last week was the only time they'd won this year when he hadn't kicked more than one. Ryder and Jacobs. See, Dangerfield having an impact, isn't he? To Douglas, to centre wing. Cleary worked underneath it. Homps did well there because Betts had made the run. Broadbent, so important in that last quarter against Collingwood last week. Dangerfield again, no free kick that time, and Hardigan and a boundary throw-in. So Paddy Dangerfield, 6 disposals in the opening term.
And Thompson and Douglas is actually the highest disposal gatherer on the field at this point. So they're coming up with the ball. They're winning the stoppages quite comfortably. What is it, 8-3 in the Crows' way.
And Dangerfield and Thompson, the leaders, with 6 apiece. Interesting handball that ended up with Henderson. And then Martin with a clearing kick. Big fly, not quite the mark. Cleary, ball on the deck. Lynch, brilliant handball. He got it through. Jenkins, and now they're away. Eddie Betts, what's he got in front of him? Just one pair inside the 50. Walker would have been the target. The handball backwards for Jenkins had too much on it. Wingard gets the footy in his hands, and now Wines, so it could be costly.
Ebert, Broadbent to full forward. It will be costly, you'd think. That's a great kick to Gray. So Betts at one end. It's interesting, when he got the ball, he bounced the ball so quickly, and then the second time, and then the handball was behind Jenkins.
I think Eddie Betts knows he's got a good 10-metre burst, but he can't run quickly over 30-40 metres, so he didn't really want to take off with the footy and try and burn off the chase. But back through the centre square, and Gray just was found on his own.
So this is his 5th disposal. He's got it. So Port on the ball. That's a steadier early. Gray important. It's interesting, Lee, with Gray, because we all got to know him so well last year. I think he's played nearly as well this year, but I think he's had a lot more contested footy this year and probably a few less goals.
Well, he won the Coaches Association Award last year. That's a fantastic achievement. So I guess to my eyes, I don't think he's actually been this dominating.
I reckon he's pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Maybe not quite. I reckon it's the goals that's the difference, Lee.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
His numbers are good.
See Gray kicked the goal, but the chance was set up by the ball movement from back flank, back into the centre square, then straight towards goal, and got the ball in quickly for the first time. And Gray was really unopposed on the end of the kick.
So they get there first. They would have loved that over again, Eddie Betts. That was beautiful. Down to Thompson. Homsch holding on to Tex Walker at a free kick. And Homsch arguing the point, Lee, but, well,
yeah,
the initial look told us that it was there.
Yeah, he got the front position. Certainly the umpire was only 5 metres away, and the umpire said, no, he's turned him. I think player first in the footy, which was Walker, should get rewarded by that, the holding free kick.
This is huge, Lee, because Walker's just been missing a few lately. This first shot will be big for him.
Yeah, always good for big for the confidence, the first shot.
So 32 goals he's kicked this season. For their fourth straight. The skipper. Oh, the coach, the old coach would have loved that. Well done, Tex. 4 in a row, Adelaide. I had a very close relationship, just speaking with John Worsfold down in the rooms before the game, and I said to John, was he particularly close to any one player in particular? And he said that wasn't the Phil Walsh style, to be super close to the players. He was a coach-player relationship, not a friend relationship, but certainly the skipper close to him. All the messaging through Tex Walker, and well, he honours him with a goal.
Well, we see Tex Walker kick his first goal. Homsch, a really big job today. He did it on Travcote last week, but for Adelaide Crows, it's a contested possessions, 29-15. They're winning around the ball.
That's for sure, Maxie. Boak trying to do something about that to Gray. And then Gray to full forward. Ryder tries to half volley it in the end. On the up. Not a great handball. Need had to search. Wines had to take one on. Well done, McKay. Crouch. She was good there. Getting back was Impey. Crouch looking and searching. Gets it out of the danger zone, maybe. Boak's quick hands. Back to Broadbent. Broadbent to fall forward. Shaw's in a good spot here. Well played, Talia. Really well played. Couple of good number 12 defenders for both teams, and he kicks to space. Cracker, Tringo behind him. He'll go back to that number. No, he doesn't go back to that number 12. Kicks to Boak. Knight underneath. Boak keeps his eye on it. Starting to get a fair bit of the ball now, Boak.
They drive the ball forward again. Montfrey's on the end of it. That was well done by Hopson. This kick just as good. Short. Jarman Impey again on the end of it.
Impressive in this game is both sides are prepared to try and attack through the centre square. Not that defensive, going around the boundary line trying to avoid the turnover. Take the punt of the midfield turnover, because that's what creates scoring opportunities.
So just one goal for the season for Jarman Impey. This for his second. And their second. He's offline, started it right, stayed right. Been the slower of the two teams to settle into this game. Lee, Port.
Yeah, they're just taking their chances, really, the Crows at this point in time. Inside 50s, 9-8 for Port Adelaide's way. So in terms of forward half, the Crows have done okay, but Port have done okay. But the Crows have been able to be 4 from 4 in shots and goals.
The same number of scoring shots. Douglas, Lowbeer.
Straight up, please, Matthew.
It's a sort of day you feel like it'll be quite a high-scoring match.
Yeah, the way the ball is flowing at this point in time, one would think there would be a generation of chances, although there hasn't been an enormous...
Boak, Stewart, looked up, and Gray's got it. No, didn't quite hold it, actually, so good call. McKay, Gray. So Stewart's kick.
Yeah, to finish that, it doesn't look like there's going to be enormous scoring, because the ball's flowing backwards and forwards, but both sides are pretty successful in getting the extra defender back to make it hard for the offensive team.
Gee, so here's another ruck infringement in the forward 50 for Port, but this one goes to Ryder, so he missed the last shot.
That's what this was all about. Let me see.
It's Hardigan.
Yep. Stopping him being in the contest, the third man.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. The problem is who's the ruckman, who's the third man up, and Hardigan clearly thought Ryder was third man up. I'll block his run. Should be able to do that.
Sometimes you're more comfortable from 45 than you are from 15. He actually kicks from 50, so I'm not sure if he's got the length. He has. It's a goal.
Yes, when you're talking the third up jumper, that's the confusion, really. Like, the criteria is, it's the same rule for the third up jumper as it is for the other ground level players in terms of the blocking their path. So the umpire, I don't know whether the umpire thought he was the ruckman, because the umpires sometimes get confused who's the ruckman, who's the third up. But I would have thought Lobie's the ruckman.
We'll have a look at it again, Lee, because big call.
Let's have a look here now. The umpire's saying who are the ruckmen? Or is he saying that? Clearly Jacobs, going to be Lobie. And the umpire has just said Hardigan has impeded Ryder's run at the footy. Very, very harsh call.
Might have just got the arm at the end, Lee, which probably didn't help it. So Lobie goes forward, looking better now. A quick kick out of the pack. Port Adelaide, bouncing ball. That was well done, very well done by Robbie Gray, just tapping it across. Stewart under the footy. Lever and Brown in there, working hard. Comes back to Need. Brown's got him. Thompson. McKay. A little one to Dangerfield. It's a high ball. And out of bounds on the full, so they'll get another go at it here. And they've lifted Port Adelaide. Just cleaner now in their decision-making. Wines out of the middle, starting it all off.
Yeah, it was a good effort by him. So Wingard poking to the pocket. Impey, but coming across Henderson. It's a low percentage kick, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's into the pocket. I mean, basically, the attacking kick is to the front of the goal square, but teams often kick it into the forward pocket to prevent the rebound from the opposition. Very defensive thinking, but that's the way they do it.
There is Wines. Cleary. Strong tackle from Wright. Hobbs trying to get through. Wright then on the up. to Crouch, to Jenkins. Now he's got players out wider. A second bounce, a third bounce. Does the handball. Lynch had to stop and prop. Hooks it back and he'll get Martin. He's found him.
Almost a really good spoil. All he can do there is actually get the footy. If you get any contact, when you're running back from the front, it's Broadbent Bros. Yeah, he got the arms, and as soon as he got the arms, there's a clear free kick. He has to get footy and nothing else to be able to affect that spoil. Really, really tough technique to do.
Just his second game this season. He is a journeyman. He hasn't been able to really have big years, Martin, but it's been pretty valuable at times. It's a good kick. Adelaide 5 straight in the opening term. You think of the individual for a moment as we look at Elder Park there with the fans, but for Brodie Martin, that's just massive. He's a guy that's in and out. Just his second game this year. Takes an opportunity, kicks a goal. He's going to feel good.
Absolutely. That was a streaming out. I mean, the defence get the numbers into the back half and try and run forward with the footy, and he was the one that was able to get into space. It needed a couple of possessions from the Crows to be able to find him eventually, but he did his part. 5 from 5. The scoreboard pressure, no more pressure on footy than the scoreboard pressure is with the Crows, because they've kicked accurately.
Inside 50s, 22-20. So, in fact, Port Adelaide, yep, they've gone inside 50 more times, but so efficient at the other end. Dangerfield did well. Hartigan got the handball away to Thompson. That was well worked. That's a tough one to mark. Important hand in there, Cleary. That was brilliant defence against Lynch. Hartlett down the line. Broadbent gave it back to Hartlett. Really good footy that. And the kick just on the bounce. The half volley for Stewart and Nova. So Adelaide by 15 points on a glorious day in South Australia. Elder Park just outside. Big crowd out there and absolutely full house in here, Bruce.
That's for sure. So Dangerfield winning a free kick. Crouch taking the advantage. Smith, now you've got to get the angle right for the way he kicks it, but he uses the run of Douglas having a big opening term. Douglas can go for goal, and he does, and he'll kick it. That is a running long goal, one end to the other. So starts with Dangerfield's courage, ability to win a ball in heavy traffic, and then some improvisation, Smith creating, and Douglas changing his mind, I reckon, halfway through the run and then straightening up, and they can't miss.
I know I'm harping on the same topic, but it was running the ball through the centre square. If you can get the ball back into the middle, it just opens up your forward line, puts the opposition defence out of pressure, and that's what the Crows have been able to do. Have a look at this. This is the halfback. A lot of the times the teams will go by the wing, but this one they were able to run straight through the centre corridor. And really Douglas just had the choice. Do I lay it off or do I get close enough and kick the running goal? So a lovely team footy off halfback. Attacking footy down the centre corridor.
And all the time of that goal was kicked and coming back, that clock has still been ticking down. So the game's actually lost quite a few seconds here. So I'm not sure exactly what went on there.
And now the clock has stopped, Bruce. So this is very unusual. The clock, as you can see, has not moved. Hartlett, long kick down inside 50. So not sure how they unravel this one. Wingard, he's got some unravelling of his own to do, and the ball behind. So as we can see, the clock
stuck on 1:19 to go.
Has not moved since that bounce.
And that was because after the Douglas goal, it kept on running.
I wonder if they kept catching up the time, perhaps.
Well, we're about to find out, Baz. So interesting stuff. Port kicking points and Adelaide kicking goals. Henderson straightening it up. O'Shea at the back. Thompson, not a great handball, but Knight's okay. Well done, Archie's up against three. He's played it well, Archie. That was terrific by the youngster, but he gives away a free kick, and still that clock hasn't moved. So this is, I don't know what's going to go on here. Now we're up. So maybe it was just catching up. So here we are, 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in the opening term.
Jacobs goes back. It was a tough one to mark. Need. Wright was coming at him, and Ebert off half back. That's a very good kick for Ryder. Now Wingard. Beyond the wing, assesses the option. Schulz breaks for him into the pocket, and Schulz didn't mark. The ball's on the deck, as you could see. Talia right there with him. Releases to Robbie Gray, kicks it around the body. Oh, Wingard started it off on the wing, kept running, and marks inside 50.
Just great ability to read the kick, really. He got into the position. Gray might have directed the ball in his direction. Obviously, that was the old one too. Just ball hit the ground, but when the random ball into the forward 50, Wingard's got a great ability to read it off the boot, just get to the right position that step earlier.
Heard some commentary from Bruce in the opening credits. He's only 19. Bruce, he's 22 in 10 days' time. He's played 82 games. He's been such an impact player for Port Adelaide, and they needed his impact there with 8 seconds on the clock when he kicked it. So the Crows lead cut to 14 points. All appears to have been restored with the clock, we think at least. Anyway, Lee, 6 seconds from when they bounced it.
It might be that whatever we were seeing on the screen, it was just stuck on 1 minute 19 to go, just until the time that hadn't sort of been recorded was rectified. That's what we're thinking, at least.
Yeah,
that seems the most logical assumption.
He loves the showdown, Wingard. He won the medal in the last game at AAMI Stadium. He kicked 5 goals in a showdown. He's had 5 Brownlow votes in his last 3 matches against the Crows. So Port, 7 scoring shots to 6. They trail at quarter time, but in a fantastic opening quarter. Adelaide have been red hot, and Port are keeping up with them now. Lobe just wins it. Adelaide have been winning through here. Dangerfield important. Jacobs. Douglas has had a big first term, and so has his team, but well, the perfect opening term in so many ways. A brilliant day here, capacity house, free-flowing, high-scoring, lots to talk about. It's a 14-point margin. It's Adelaide over Port Adelaide. In fact, is that a behind, was it? So that last point counting for Douglas, so the margin is 15 points at quarter time. Was a spectacular opening. Adelaide kicking for goal was a feature. The first 6 straight, the last one we could forgive completely. Walker hammered one home. Gray, Hartlett, Boak. Wingard's been important. Thompson, Dangerfield, Douglas, big numbers there, and their forward line has been pretty efficient. So Adelaide with the edge. It's 22 to 37. Let's go down to the boundary line with Maxi and Sodas.
Well, Maxi, they were clearly on top of the Crows around the ball, particularly in clearances.
They were contested possessions where they got their hands on their ball, so 39-25, they're really leading the way, crashing in hard. Thompson, Dangerfield, Douglas really set the tone there. But look, they were really efficient going forward. That was the important thing. They went inside 10 times for 6 goals.
They did open the door a couple of times. They're high on clangers at the moment, Adelaide too.
They have. They've had more clangers, but I don't mind that they're actually taking the game on. A couple of them have been trying to come back through the midfield, but they've also had good one-on-ones down forward. So I think Tex Walker will certainly be telling his midfielders, just get it into me, get it in one-on-one.
What about last week? Of course, they started well against the Eagles, but the Eagles blitzed them with that 8-goal second quarter, pretty much shut the door on them. Is that mindful of that at the moment, do you reckon?
I don't think so. I think that they were coming off, obviously, the week where they didn't play. So it had been a couple of weeks since they had played. I think today's a different beast. It's a showdown.
Good on you, boys. Thank you, Sodas, and also Maxi down there. As we've said a couple of times, glorious day. And, well, Lee, it's set up pretty much the way we would have liked it to have been.
Yeah, it's a really good game of footy. Yeah, the clear blue skies has brought out the movement and the spring-like look about it all, really. But it's been 9 goals. Forget that, 9 goals a quarter. You got a good game of footy.
Sure have. Dangerfield, terrific, 9 disposals in the opening term. Douglas as well, and Thompson, as we mentioned, with 10. So the leaders really standing up for Adelaide. Start of the second term. Adelaide by 15 points. Showdown 39. Jacobs, again, as he's done for much of the afternoon, wins that hit out down first. Boak did really well. Wingard, now Ebert. So he looks up. He wanted to go short, I think, and then in the process of lowering the eyes and lowering the kick, kicked into the man in front of him. Wingard taken without it, wins it free.
Let him up now, please, Richard. Thank you. Straight back to him. Thank you.
He's kicked a goal already. He's looked really dangerous, hasn't he? And Wingard, high ball, top of the square. It's going to be tough to mark. Not for that man, Ryder. Over it goes. Robbie Gray from the goal square. He's kicked two. Oh, Ryder, big fly. Today to make a name for yourself. These are the occasions. Something special. It was a congested pack. That was the free kick. And then the high ball, it was perfect for a leaper, wasn't it?
And it was. He was really just a big pack of players. He was the tallest, but he also judged it so much better, Ryder. That's the kind of output that Port want from Ryder. He had a couple of shots at goal, so didn't kick the first one.
I think Schulz knocked a couple over for him too, didn't hurt.
It was a big pack. There was a lot of height in that pack.
And Ryder took a very similar mark in the first showdown when he kicked 3 goals. He took a pack mark and kicked a goal. So he's had a contribution here.
No, I'm going to recall that.
Douglas was just a bit untidy though, wasn't he? Because Wingard was sort of out of the play a bit and he ripped him down, and that was the free kick turnover.
I think it was Lever was a direct opponent for Ryder. I mean, he should learn from that. Don't let him jump unimpeded. Make sure you've got a body on him to make sure that he can't leap. Otherwise, you'll always be too tall.
Lever just in his 6th game, first season. It's made a big impression, but it's a big job today. Port stretching that defence of Adelaide's. Wines in hard, Boak in hard, and Dangerfield with him.
The runners out there with Lever at the moment, actually, and I suspect.
Thanks, Trev.
So the Liverpool connection, Brendan Rodgers there, the Liverpool manager in the centre, because Darren Burgess, the fitness coach for Port Adelaide, was at Liverpool for a couple of years, quite recently, actually, in about 2012 and 11. So Cracker gets it from Broadbent. It's a good kick. Now Need can run and carry, and he does with one bounce. Now he's sizing it up. What does he do? He goes to full forward. Ryder caught underneath. It wasn't a great kick. Ryder's leap was... And Adelaide get the free. Ryder made the lead early and was waiting for it, and the kick wasn't great. Laird has been probably the most improved player at the club in the last 2 years. He's gone from around the fringes to an elite player in Adelaide.
So that's Laird's view down the ground. Lynch was his target. Hartlett right there with him. Monfries just a little casual. Realised his error. Went harder at it second time. Lynch is under there. And the umpire happy to restart things.
Thanks, guys. Let him up.
Catch their breath.
Straight back here.
Jacobs and Lobie fired out Lynch's way again. Came from Thompson, and then again the ball just helped over the line, and now Monfries set onto his backside by Douglas. Monfries gets the free kick for that, so perhaps a little careless by the Adelaide Crows. No real need to do that, and he switches on into the middle of the ground, and Homsch.
To change the angles here to Cleary. Now, Cleary's got the longer one on. It was he, but he's decided to go to a trickier situation. But Hartlett talked about his ability to find targets and kick long distances. So not much 50 metres from him at the moment. They're more 60 or 70. Now he has to go. So he kicks that long ball to that 50-metre mark. Schulz, Talia getting it away. Martin, hands and knees, a little awkward. Jacobs to release. Well done. Now Smith to release. Cameron's quick if he gets the right bounce. He does. They won't catch him. Quick kick, good kick. Walker, he's got a tex. One end to the other in a hurry. You can't beat that. Loved the kick off the boot from Cameron. Gave Walker, I thought, the best chance.
All we can do is try and give you a forward at least a 60-40 chance, and just where the ball. Broadbent is looking for Walker. See, that the difference is all the forward has to do is watch his kicker, watch his teammate, whereas the defender's looking at the kicker, looking at the ball. Where should I go?
And Lee, that's a mismatch. That's a mismatch because Broadbent's not normally his opponent.
Well, that's just the way the team setups. Often there will be a mismatch of a quick ball movement.
So Texas kicked a couple, and Adelaide maintained the edge. You saw him in the opening game here, Lee, where he kicked 6, and he probably could have kicked 8 or 10.
I thought he was going to be Wayne Carey in the way he played that round 1. I don't think he's actually, maybe that's, he hasn't got great for that. He had 15 marks or something. He was outstanding in round 1.
He's had an okay season, hasn't he?
Okay, yeah. You've got to be able to, I guess the break even for a player like Walker, if you're just talking goals, is these days maybe 3. Not many more than that. Three's a good output for a key forward these days.
So Elder Park with a big fan. So Walker's kicked multiple goals in a showdown on 8 occasions now. He's got a good record in these matches.
Cameron's been important too. A couple of vital touches. Ryder climbed very high, but Jacobs, I reckon, won that one and then goes again.
Fine.
And Archie comes up with a footy.
Straight back.
So back to a 15-point spread. Just a little bit of breathing space for Adelaide. Once again, Ryder won that one.
Touch, play on.
Douglas's kick out of the pack. It was touched. Little paddle across to Thompson. That was clever. McKay. Now a chance for Knight. Back to McKay. Haven't called his name a lot this afternoon. Early going. Jenkins is going to be the target. Hartlett spilt the mark. Then a big tackle from Knight. Knight's tackling has been a real feature of his game so far this afternoon. Promising signs from this youngster in just his second game. Hasn't missed a beat in picking up the tempo of this game, and now a free kick to Port Adelaide again, perhaps a little unnecessary from the Crows.
Just the bottom of the pack. So very unlucky, Jenkins. He got forced out of the contest by his direct opponent. He was in the marking contest before, but the umpire let it go.
He took his running, didn't he? Lobie, good grab. You love your ruckman to do that. Gets you right out of the danger zone, doesn't it?
Move on, Matt. Play on.
They often use Broadbent in the back half. He's a good user of the ball. Hartlett.
Play on. Knee.
Homsch.
This is like the probing ball move. They've gone from back flank to back flank. The Crows shift across with them. It's really...
Move on.
They'll try and switch it again. It's very hard to get it back in the middle.
It's a dangerous kick, but it could come off, and it does to Hartlett. And this is where they might be able to hurt, but Impey, that was really well done, I think, by Douglas getting back to just stop the flow. Ebert wraps it into the Adelaide player, and I think it'll be a ball up in the heart of that centre square.
It was a dangerous kick, wasn't it, to Hartlett? And having got it to him, they made a bit of a meal of it.
Yeah.
Taking it on, Jacobs. Crouch. Thompson just threw the ball up in the air. He lost it in the tackle. Impey, Douglas. They're hard at it. Port Adelaide last year, Lee, one of the best teams moving the ball out of defence into attack.
Well, that one, the Crows were already back, so when it was after the Lobie mark, they didn't have anything to go to quickly.
Lobie, that was brilliant. That was superb down to Impey. So a big mark. He's got his confidence up. He's running hard, but they're just going to run out of room. The kick a little ill-directed and over the line.
What's been the good thing is they tried to go back into the centre square. He marked the ball hard, as you know. They couldn't get through. There's the risk of the turnover, but if you want to really be attacking, you've just got to get through that part of the ground.
Jacobs just saw Westhoff, Lee. He's been very quiet, only the one disposal. Crouches kick forward and rolling it out. Adelaide happy to have a spare man back. Smith's the spare for the Crows. Port not so often at the moment. Bet's quietish. As I said, Westhoff, who's been a barometer in these matches and a barometer for the team generally. Such a great player and such a hard matchup. Very quiet so far. Lobie, Jacobs got over the top. Ebert. Maxie, what's your impressions of this second term?
I just think it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment. I think Port Adelaide are actually fighting a lot better around the ball, but looking the forward line, Adelaide are actually keeping 6 forwards forward to make Broadbent and Kendall, who's so good in that last quarter last week against Collingwood.
Jacobs and Lobie lock arms again. Robbie Gray runs onto it. It was perfect, and again they show their intent. They're prepared to go to Hartlett through the middle. That's plan A at the moment. He did well to win that footy. Gave it to Broadbent. It wasn't without its risk. They've taken it on, but they have been forced wide just a little by the fumble. And that's a good mark taken in defence by Brodie Smith, who wants to go quickly to right. So they're away now, the Adelaide Crows, driving the ball to a one-on-one. Eddie Betts and Broadbent. Eddie lost his feet. Broadbent won the footy and then found the line.
So Betts not really off the leash yet, is he?
Just 3 touches, Bruce.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been able to really impose himself on the game at this point.
And that's a good sign for Adelaide. They've kicked 7 goals and he hasn't been a contributor yet. Lobie could probably have taken it out of the air, but that's always a little dangerous. Jenkins with the old fend off to Need. Need stood up pretty well, the little fella, and then gets the ball. Gray working hard. Clever stuff. Gets it out towards Monfries. Led with him. Monfries did well. Cracker. Clever. Well done.
Good left footer, that's brilliant by Cracker. Winds, Impey out wide, not a good kick, and Henderson cut it off. He was never going to get to Westhoff, and Henderson with his run and carry, an important player I think for Adelaide, gets to Martin.
Switches on now for Adelaide. Martin's got a player on, it's Cameron. As we've said, some important touches, that one the worst of them. He kicked it out of bounds on the full. Just didn't take the care necessary, and that's a lost opportunity for the Adelaide Crows. And Trengove, with no one really manning the mark, so their intent here, Lee, is very obvious for everyone to see. They want to get it into the middle at all costs, and they do, and they're away here to Monfries. So Wingard's kick was a good one. Really attacking in this second term. Kick for Wines. Dangerfield read it well. He's got Henderson in support. Might not use him. Drives down the line to Tex Walker.
Walker used the body cleverly. That was Dangerfield's first disposal in this term after a brilliant opening term. Walker to fall forward. Great kick, brilliant mark. This young boy that we've talked a lot about, Riley Knight, he kicked a couple in his debut last week. I mean, it was a debut that no one would wish on anyone really in the circumstances. Walker's been importantly, a couple of goals.
He's been good, he's been dangerous, nice and strong there. That just one-on-one kindness, and again you kick it long over the defender and the forward, who pretty much takes the back position these days more often, don't they?
A couple of goals in that opening match, and we've talked a lot about his endeavour today. And he's got it, and Adelaide keep ticking the scoreboard over. They've got a good lead here.
Doesn't it say something about him? I mean, the circumstances to come in for his first game. He talked about his last conversation with Phil Walsh. Was Phil Walsh telling him that he would make his AFL debut? A conversation he said he will never forget, obviously. He was good against the Eagles last week, and although he hasn't had a whole lot of the footy, just the 4 disposals, but his tackling, his pressure on the ball carrier, now the mark and finish. Good signs from this young man.
It's where you've got to win the one-on-one contest, and that's what Walker was able to do. And he's doing well in that one-on-one matchup. Just the little bit of the hands in the back to make sure Ebert couldn't come back with a flight.
So lead now 21 points for the Adelaide Crows, and they're ferocious again out of the middle. Thompson, Walker caught behind, but somehow got his hands on the footy first. Handball illegal. Good tackle from behind, and it needed to be by Homsch.
So Port need the next one. Gray courageously. It's 50 metres.
It's really interesting to see how far the umpire goes. He'll probably be about to the 50-metre line, one would think. So it's going to be a long kick just outside 50.
So it's too far for Gray, I think, to goal. He'll set it up. He goes to the pocket. Ryder! Big fly. Stewart squeezes forward. Lobe will kick a goal. He does. Well, the 50-metre hurt. When you split the pack too often in the forward 50, it could be very dangerous for the opposition.
Well, at least you're getting a contest on the full forward line after that 50. And again, as we often see in modern footy, you don't kick the ball to the front of the goal square because you're scared it might rebound. But it's hard actually to score a goal. Lobe got it. It was one of those random broken plays, but the ball was actually kicked to the forward pocket. Hard to kick a goal, but hard to defend. He's looked a bit dangerous, Ryder. Again, Lever hasn't been able to get the body next to him.
Let me know if they come in late.
Just didn't quite make it stick, but really it was the next ball that Lobe was able to snap through.
Got up so high, didn't he? Huge leap a couple of times. Westhoff in the middle, but not the ruckman here, and he might run onto it, Westhoff. So Adelaide's lead was 21 points, the biggest of the game. It's back to 15. Charlie Cameron took them on. Crouch standing up. It was a good tackle by Boak. He didn't let him through, and Cameron has shown an ability to split open a few packs with his pace. Not that time. Jacobs. Well done backwards to Crouch. That was clever. Now this is going to be a tough one, but Eddie Betts didn't make it look tough at all. Kick didn't really favour Walker. Had to work his way into it. Got an important hand in there. Now Douglas runs onto it. This would be something. This would be really something. It was Henderson. And the mark has been taken. Jenkins. Good grab right on the line. So, that was good work. He's kicked one already, the opening goal, as we know. And Eddie Betts made that look really good. And Walker's attack on the footy. So the big ruckman resting. He needs to bend it around, and he does. He's got 2. Good football, Adelaide, back to 21 points.
He's interesting, Jenkins. He didn't play this, and he's there for a while. Basketball background. He's an ungainly, but you and I have seen him play some good games here.
No, he's been good. No, he looks more than capable up there to be the second big guy around Tex Walker. He was good. I mean, basically, he was a game of inches, isn't it? Whether he actually the ball went over for a behind or whether he marked it. It's always interesting. He took the mark, obviously, right on the goal line, and the goal umpire was in the position. But
from here, it looked over, didn't it?
It looked over, yeah, but the goal umpire was right there.
So Jenkins finishing well, and so are Adelaide. Their goal-kicking accuracy has been a feature of the opening half. Ryder, Ebert went without it. Crouch has been important. Ebert down low. Martin puts the tackle on. Ball up. So 10 scoring shots to 9, but a 21-point margin.
Back here. Here we go.
The new coach there, Scott Camperelli, been at the club for a fair while. Great football background. Gray, Boak, trying to get it to Monfries. Laird, terrific. Martin off a step. Cameron.
50 metres, that's going to be expensive. There you go, from 70 metres out to 20 metres out, so that's a...
You went straight over 5 metres, Cam.
It didn't look like he'd gone over as the umpire's call. Let's have a look at this. You just can't keep following your opponent over the mark.
No, he'd gone straight over, straight away.
Well, there's a massive kick for Charlie Cameron.
Thanks, guys.
This really stretches the lead. I think for the first time today, if he kicks this, it's a big lead. It's one that will take a lot of catching, and he's got it. And Adelaide now get to nearly 5 goals in front. And Lee, you've talked about scoreboard pressure. It's real now, I reckon, at 34 to 61.
Yeah, it's not so much that they've dominated the game, but they've dominated the efficiency of accuracy from opportunities, and that has got them a really nice lead.
And, you know, I mean, it's a different game, but the first half last night, Hawthorn was a bit similar. They weren't dominating, but they were dominating this. We know what happened.
Well, was it 23-8, wasn't it, to, I'm trying to think.
7-13 or something.
7, yeah. A lot of behinds by the Swans.
Biggest lead of the game now for the Crows, now to 27 points. Inside 50s, 35-28. And they're in favour of Port Adelaide. So, as Lee and Bruce have said, they're hitting the scoreboard. The efficiency has been strong, and Jacobs, Crouch, might be a free kick that.
Boys, Westhoff throwing himself behind the ball here, trying to limit this Crows attack.
So Crouch.
Move it on, play on.
He holds up, and Lynch.
That's a mark, clear it out.
They're prepared to be patient here, and they can afford to be. Less than 10 minutes remaining in this opening half, and Walker just got loose out wide.
Not beyond him, I reckon, Basil. I mean, his best kick nearly gets this, I reckon.
So Walker's kick 2, the skipper.
He's going to find out, Bruce.
Well, we saw him in round 1, didn't we? He was so clean with everything he did that day. It was a new era for Adelaide. The skipper starts at a little left, and it will be a behind. So 28 points now the lead. Just their second blemish for the afternoon, Adelaide. 10-2, 5-4.
Just hooked a little. That often happens when someone's trying to get maximum distance. They kick the ball across their body a little.
Good mark to Douglas. He's been busy. And he's got a target at full forward, and he's going to find him. Oh, not. Yes, surely.
They paid the free.
Cameron again.
And we're going 50. We're going 50. Hey, it's a free kick, and it's 50.
So he's going to come to the goal. The goal score. It's a 50-metre penalty plus the free kick. So Charlie Cameron will kick his second.
Yes, it's also why you very rarely the teams kick down the middle from a kick in, because if you turn it over, the zone players who are defending the kick in and on their own inside the arc. And that's what Cameron was.
He'd never kicked a goal against the Power before today. He's kicked a couple now. Gee, in 5 minutes, this whole game's changed, I reckon. I thought even though Adelaide were a couple of goals in front, you felt like Port were right up with them, but right now they've got a massive problem.
Now, as we said many times, that was what the 50 metres was for. I think the high spoil after the mark, but accuracy, or on the other side of the coin, inaccuracy is so much determines games. And Port have feed 5-4. They've been reasonable, but the Crows' ability to kick 11 goals from 19 inside 50 entries is just a fantastic return.
Tringove might have a case to answer for that one. It was not dissimilar to Nat Fyfe's last week. We know the ultimate result. Adelaide now 34 points. And up it'll come again. The umpire not happy with that one.
So, Basil, 5 minutes ago, they were 15 points in front, the Crows. They now lead by 34.
Blown it open, haven't they? Roby's been important. Again, gets it to Robbie Gray this time. So it's a good battle with he and Jacobs. That was brilliant. Wines back to Robbie Gray. Inside 50 and Ryder. And that's been their best passage of play today from a clearance in the middle. Terrific footy. And Ryder's looked dangerously.
Well, they've got Hardigan over on him now by the look of it, because I guess he has looked the most dangerous forward, and Lever is probably the third tall down there with Talia and Hardigan. So they've made that slight change, but has looked dangerous as a forward today, Ryder.
So they really need this, don't they? Paddy Ryder with 1-1 this afternoon. He's taken a big mark. He's made an impact. They need this. They get it. So he kicks his second, and it's back to a 28-point ball game.
He's sort of doing the Schultz job in a way, Lee, isn't he, Ryder?
Well, he has been. He's been effectively been the main target. It's not that Schultz hasn't been trying to be the main target. I don't think there's any kind of like a rope-a-dope going on. I just think Ryder's been able to find his way towards the footy more often.
The other guy, I think, Gray's having an impact now.
Yep.
He's building, so important goal.
A little bit of drama for the Crows just coming into it now. Daniel Talia has gone down to the rooms. He hasn't got the red vest on, so it could be the 20-minute concussion rule. Rory Atkins on for his first run at AFL level.
Gee, that's big, Sodas, particularly with Ryder taking grabs forward. Talia hasn't had that match-up, but he may have ended up with it. Ebert. So Port got that very important goal. Hartland. Well done, Betts. Ebert. Good pressure. Boat was terrific in heavy traffic. Tringove the same. To Cracker. Ryder being held up by Lever. And certainly he's had an impact, Ryder. His best two games for Port this year have been in the showdowns. 3 goals in the first one, and today 3 shots on goal, split a pack to, I think, create a goal on another occasion.
I think rightly, though, Lever's still on him. I mean, Hardigan has actually got Schultz. Schultz is still the one most likely to kick multiple goals, so I think persevering with the younger matchup is probably reasonable at this point. Jacobs won the hit out that time, but down to Ebert. Important minutes here. That's a good mark, Henderson. So that was interesting. The umpire was there to set the mark, and Henderson just took off. Jacobs, now McKay, and he can dash through the middle. He's had a bounce already, runs his full distance. Eddie Betts is drifting into the pocket, and he marks. It was just over the top of Westhoff. Eddie Betts read it well, and maybe this can spark his impact. And as Lee has said, they've been able to build this big lead without a significant contribution from Eddie Betts. That's what they want McKay running. Again through the centre's corridor. It's amazing how much easier it is for forward. You can go for any of the positions in the forward 50 arc, and so often it's just dropping it into a hole in between the opposition zone defenders. Eddie's 50th consecutive AFL match, 36 of them with Adelaide. Hasn't hit the scoreboard today, he has now, but just the minor score. So Adelaide's lead, 29 points. Eddie Betts, 5 disposals for the day. 3 kicks. He's taken that 1 mark.
And Maxi, Westhoff there, I'll get to you in a moment with Westhoff, because he was the one that missed getting a hand on that a moment ago. He's really struggling. Ryder, Ebert, Lever. There's a ball up. You said that Westhoff's gone back. I don't know if you can hear me, Maxi, with what's going on, but he really needs to impact somewhere here.
Yeah, well, what they've actually did, the Crows, was they sent Henderson around to man him up, so he wasn't all by himself. He had to play as a defender. Just then he was actually all by himself, so they changed their tactic because of Talia going down.
So right to full forward. Here he is, Westhoff. Belts it away. Need. Betts lurking with Walker. Now Westhoff getting involved. Betts on the up. Dangerfield's had a quiet term after a great first quarter. Honks wraps him up. Good tackle, ball up. Adelaide get a stoppage in the forward 50.
Bruce, just confirming too that Daniel Tarley, it is the concussion rule, so 20 minutes they have to decide whether he'll come back on or whether he's going to be done for the game and Rory Atkins will stay.
So Bogue gets the ball down. That's interesting from O'Shea. He kicked, well, he only had one intent, and that was the boundary line, and the umpire says it's okay. Toss it in. O'Shea's kick. Found touch. Adelaide by 29 points. So just less than 6 to play. They'd like at least a couple, you'd think, Port Adelaide. Ryder fell over. Dangerfield. Impey, good tackle. Came out to Douglas, who just got his kick away in time. Boak was there. Boak's ball towards the wing. Overrun by Robbie Gray. Henderson. Robbie Gray goes back and gets it again. That's good football. And uses Wingard. Now Stewart up the line. The short kick. Wines has been paid the mark. It was clean. Can go quickly. Down to a 2-on-2 situation. Is that a mark? Is that a mark in there? They're claiming it, the Port Adelaide players. Schultz, did he mark that ball?
It looked like he came down with it, didn't he? Let's see how many players touched it, they were in between.
Oh, that's a mark. That's a mark, Lee.
I think it's a mark, yeah. Probably bounced off Hardigan a little, but I think they're probably a mark on replay.
Certainly looked like it, didn't it? Bit stiff. Wingard to fall forward. Jacobs in a good spot. And a boundary throw. And feel like Port making a little surge here, though. Yeah,
well, they have to. This is really interesting, isn't it? I mean, whether he could have got the free, but it worked. Is it touched Huss Hardigan before it went down his waist? I'm not quite sure whether you regard that as a touch ball or not.
Ryder tapping down Wines. Still Wines. And he couldn't quite get the right angle, but he bulled his way through. And it's out on the full. Well, I think it was a mark, but 29 points the margin. Adelaide being challenged again here. Do feel like Port do need at least one and maybe another. It's a 5-goal margin, basically. Tringove against Betts for Hartland. That's even better because the difference between Hartland and Tringove kickings are pretty big. Jackson won't mind me saying that, I reckon. Let's see if Hartland does use it. He does to O'Shea. He might look for a run past and no. Where's Ryder?
Oh, just sport it.
Gee, I can't believe it. But he's kicked the goal anyway, hasn't he? There he is. Kick 3. Well,
I was almost going to, because it looked like it stuck, and then it fumbled it.
But the other thing, every time they go forward, you think Ryder's the one that's going to fly.
Well, this is the attacking spot, front of the goal square, and he almost controlled it anyway, and he would have been really unhappy about having not been paid the mark, but second effort goal anyway. But that's the attacking kick to the front of the goal square. The defensive kick is kicking into the forward pocket, and if you kick it to the front of the goal square, a second effort, crumbing goal, you've got an open goal face.
I think because they're undersized down there, the defenders, Hardigan, Lever and Henderson, they just can't allow them to fly like that. They've got to get across, put your arm across and make sure these others got to run and jump at it.
Liverpool would have been impressed with that.
3 goals from 9 disposals. Brendan Rodgers would have loved it. And Ryder now doing the ruck work.
Kicking in danger, Adelaide.
Well, rarely called. Dangerfield, bottom of the pack, wins the free kick, a hard ball. Well, how did this happen? Thompson all out on his own. The kick just needed to get there, and it didn't. It went to Cracker instead. So Stewart on the end of it. Loby's the front man. We've seen him take a strong mark already. Robbie Gray. Now the ball at the back of the pack. Lever worked it across. That was good defensive work.
Sure was. Big minutes these. Monfree's calling. Being the general there. Goes back. Port enjoying some good minutes. Boak. So Boak to half forward. Sure, Nilly. Laird, that's that situation, Maxie, you were talking about. High ball in. Adelaide a little vulnerable, aren't they?
They are. They just got to actually work across, as I said, put your arm around them, don't let them run and jump at it. It's a lot harder for them to compete in the air doing that, but it's happened about 4 or 5 times to just allow them to run and jump at the ball.
So Jacobs. Laird got it from Thompson, belts the ball back.
Good mark, Cleary under the footy, so they are attacking. doing a lot of it in these dying moments of the opening half. Now Westhoff across half-back. They've looked like they've been going to mark everything coming in. The ball gets right to the back. Archie just needs to control it. Good tackle, important lever. Right there with him. And affected the kick out of bounds on the full. Young man playing just his 6th game. That tackle was vital.
On a guy playing his 7th game, so a couple of real rookies there. First-year players. Smith to bring it in. He missed a moment ago, Smith, a defensive effort, so he'll be happy they didn't score. Ebert takes the mark. Port really pressing him. We saw all those inside 50s lead. They're getting repetitive inside 50s here. Kicks to full forward. Shaw's has got it. And again, we talked about Tex Walker, the importance of his first kick at goal. And this is massive. They've kicked the last couple of goals. Port, they've been able to get back. It was 34-68 at one stage. It's back now to manageable stuff.
It's like the byproduct of the zoning defence is quite often the forward gets a run at the footy.
He hasn't kicked as well this year. He's normally about as good as it gets, and that is brilliant. Just what Port Adelaide wanted.
Been a real change, Lee, hasn't it? Last probably 7 minutes or so.
I reckon it's been a bit of Boak, a bit of Gray. I think Ebert's been about the place, but just those guys, I reckon. Wines did a couple of things. Certainly those big forwards are a problem. Gee, Dangerfield's poor kick too. That wasn't. I mean, Thompson was at a paddock.
Work their way back into the game again. We talk about the scoreboard pressure, 8-4, so they've started to take their chance. Had good field position, Port Adelaide, and their big forwards when the ball's long and high, looking very dangerous.
So the Crows kicked 3 in a row to get it to a 34-point lead, and Port have responded with the next 3 to cut it back to 17. And Dangerfield's kick just rolling over the line. Charlie Cameron with a footy in his hand. So it feels like we're going to turn for home, Lee, with this ball game very much up in the air.
Yeah, no, again, there's been nothing much in the game the whole time. The scoreboard doesn't necessarily indicate the general play, and Port are actually evening up on the scoreboard. They've been pretty good in general play.
Broadbent, Ebert, that was really good, and Hartlett, he can use the football so well. He's had 2 bounces. He's got Wingard. Should have gone to Wingard earlier if that's what he was going to do. Laird got him, and lucky not to be holding the ball.
That's interesting, Laird. He could have actually done the slam tackle, but maybe decided not wisely, I think. Slam tackle, head to turf, you've got a fair risk of getting suspended.
Port's free kick in the back. Kicked 6 straight goals, Port. They were 2 goals for, they're now 8-4, so they've taken care of all of that.
Chances too.
Archie to full forward. Not a great kick. And that's a disappointing result for Port Adelaide. Adelaide holding up well. They've made all the running, the Crows. Laird from Smith. Biggest score ever in a showdown at halftime is 72 points. That was Adelaide a few years back. So they're close to that. It's a high-scoring game. Dangerfield, good mark. Well, it's 2004 that day. So close to the highest score ever at halftime. Atkins in his first game. First time we had a look at him. Been at the club for a fair while. Thompson kicks to half forward. Betts outnumbered. And Westhoff pushed underneath. And Cracker takes the mark, but I think it might be Westhoff's free kick. Oh no, is it against Westhoff?
It is against shepherding off Westhoff. Yeah. He had 2-on-1 against him. Betts, he was just trying to get one of the 2 out of the contest.
Well, they've shown an intent to attack, haven't they, Lee? But I don't think they're going to take it on now with less than 30 seconds to run. They kicked for the boundary. They wanted it over, and they got it. Although Thompson bobbled around and marked there, could have been back inside 50. What an entertaining opening half it's been. Adelaide leading by 17 points. Paddy Ryder with 3-1. Jacobs, Crouch was taken high by Archie, coming the other way. Just accidental, and the umpire prepared to wave them on. I think the players now sensing their opportunity to catch a little breather. It's been a ferocious opening half of football. Slapped forward, Wingard, Hartlett made an error last time when he didn't go to Wingard when he had the opportunity and the ball just stepped over the line.
Since in the last 10 minutes or so, Westhoff has been the spare player in defence for Port, and then the Crows have had a spare player down their end, which has mostly been Brodie Smith, but that hasn't so much been the issue. I think it's just, even so, it's just the Port have been able to break through their forward half a bit.
Jacobs, Crouch, so half-time here, Adelaide by 17 points. Dangerfield very good early, hoping to talk to Sam Jacobs as they walk from the ground. But Port responded well. Adelaide got out to a big lead. Doubled the score at one stage. High scoring. Not a warm day, but that sun beating on the players. Boak's been industrious in hard.
Been on Dangerfield a fair bit. That's a pretty good matchup, the two captains of Dangerfield.
So let's go down to you, Nick. You've got Big Source.
Well, Sam, he started really well. The game's been played at a rapid pace at the moment. Yeah, it is. You find, you know, if you're not getting those deep entries, they're able to really rebound off half-back. And it just shows important up the other end how important it is when you've got Ryder and Schultz and blokes like this flying at the ball. And round the ball, mate, you're giving them first use, really on top in the clearances. Yeah, it feels good out there, mate. Like I said, it's just important to really get the ball forward into our forwards one-on-one. You know how dangerous Eddie, Tex and JJ are, so it's going to be really important for the second half. Mate, good luck in the second half. Well done, buddy. Cheers, mate.
Kickers out there having a run around. A very special day to be out there. They'll remember they were part of the action for Showdown 39, 21-17 in favour of Port. But we've got a live one here. Adelaide leading by 17 points. They just wrestled back a little bit of the ascendancy in this game, Port Adelaide. The lead for the Crows was out to 34 points. It's 17 points at half-time as we turn for home with a couple of quarters to play. Nick Maxwell and Mark Soderstrom have been down on the boundary, enjoying it. Great occasion, boys, and we've got a big second half to come.
Absolutely, Baz. Nick, you flagged the importance of the ruck competition before this game started. Sam Jacobs has been enormous hit-outs to advantage.
He has. He's had 19 hit-outs to advantage. I mean, so 20 hit-outs, 11 of them hit-outs to advantage. So been absolutely outstanding. You look at Lobie and Ryder, they've only had 3 between them. So round the ball, he's been the dominant player. But Lobie and Ryder have been able to go forward and kick goals. They've kicked 4 goals between them. So if they can keep going forward and keep hitting the scoreboard, it's going to be a huge influence on this game.
We saw Daniel Talia go off with the concussion rule halfway through that second term. He has been subbed off during the main break, so he is gone for the game. Rory Atkins will stay on and enjoy his first AFL match.
Good on you, boys. Thank you, Maxie. And so that's big, Lee, isn't it? Really big.
Well, it is, because that's the one part of the game where Port look like they're the most dominant. They're big forwards. Well, mainly Ryder, really, but it means if Talia is off, well, then you sort of go down one. So Hartigan's probably going to take Schultz. So Lever has to probably be able to do the job on Ryder, who's been the most dangerous player. I would have thought the choice would be, does Hartigan take Ryder, and Lever, do they swap over? But at the moment, just a little short in that part of the ground, the tall defensive area of the Crows.
Halfway through that second term, it looked like it was going to be the sort of lead Port might have had trouble pegging back. They kept those 3 very important. What do you think from here, Lee, with a half?
I still fancy the Crows. Mainly, I mean, they got the 3-goal lead. Port certainly had the best of the second part, or the last part of the second quarter, but no, I still fancy the Crows. Fancy the leaders.
Talia, of course, best and fairest of the club last year and an All-Australian. So it's a massive blow for them.
It is, yeah.
So sitting it out now, concussed in that opening half. Betts, quiet for him. So the second half about to commence. First half was a beauty, high scoring, lots of highlights. Jacobs a key. Thompson, 20th disposal in the match. Lynch, Broadbent. Wright did well. Toe poking forward. Cracker's got to chase hard. Cameron's been important. He'll go to Betts if he can. Betts, well done by Ebert just to put him off. But right to Eddie. Can't get through. Hartlett got him. Boak. So the free kick to Hartlett. He was prolific, Hartlett, in the opening half. To O'Shea. Impey. Martin's a big win for Adelaide because Port had the numbers. Walker. Back to Jacobs. Back to Laird. Had to fish for it, but he did okay.
Back they go, still retreating. Jenkins got involved. Jacobs got involved. Now Brown to poke it forward.
High ball it is, Bruce. Inside 50. Broadbent stood up. Homch there as well. Martin. And the ball just over the line. So
some concerns for Port Adelaide. Have a look there. That is Ollie Wines there from the first contest of this second half. Copped a nasty knock, plenty of blood flowing from the nose.
So that's an interesting one. He's being attended to right now in the dugout. Dangerfield. It was an interesting handball, but he got it to Thompson. OK, said the umpire. And now it's back inside 50 again. Jenkins couldn't quite mark. Need. That was very clever. After the kick from Brown to start it all off. And he keeps running. Need thought about another bounce. Very clever kick to Westhoff. Now he's got Gray on. Perfect kick. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the press up defence. Here they go again.
And go now to Schultz. Schultz from 14 metres out. He's kicked his second. They've kicked 4 in a row now, Port.
What I've loved about this game is the amount of times the teams have been able to attack through the centre square, and Need was the one who got the ball on half-back. He ran. And again, as soon as the opposition presses up, the space over the back is going to be the dangerous place, because they'll always come at the ball carrier. So over the top to Westhoff, and then as this is happening, Gray is just hightailing it back into the 50, and Hartigan wasn't his direct opponent, but was the nearest Crows opponent, and then obviously on to Schultz. But that was just a really, really quick ball movement.
Talk a lot about metres gain in this game these days. Well, Needs metres gain, they were huge, weren't they?
They carried the footy.
And Lee, they've kicked 7 consecutive goals, Port, without a miss here. They were 2 goals for, they're now up to 9-4. So they've got rid of that inaccuracy, and they've closed the gap. Douglas, a mighty Port Adelaide roar around this ground. It is their home game today. Probably 40 of the 50,000 of Port supporters. Thompson at the coalface with Lobie. He does get down and dirty, Thompson. He's a Port Adelaide Magpie as a kid. Went to Melbourne. Had a good career there, short career, and he's been a fantastic player for the Crows. So they extricate themselves. Lobie's got to jump against Jacobs. Jacobs comfortably. Well done there by Archie. He did very well against Dangerfield, who was in the box seat. O'Shea. So Port, the last 4 goals of the match. O'Shea from Archie. And he just got himself into trouble. Douglas did really well. Gets to Lynch. Lynch can attack. Jenkins in a good spot. Not a great kick. Still with Jenkins. Takes Trengove on. Beats him for pace. Kicks a goal. He's kicked 3. 1 in every quarter for Jenkins.
You don't think of him as a player who's going to be able to back his pace, but he has got some speed and acceleration and power, big thick set, power in the legs. And again, it was the same one where this was the turnover, but when Adelaide got the ball here, now they're back through the centre corridor again. I think Lynch tried to drive it over the top, and I think he just miskicked it, but McKernan was good enough to just back himself.
Jenkins, yep.
Jenkins, I should say, on Trengove.
Maxie and Soda's downstairs. Any update on Ollie Wines?
No, they're just trying to work on his nose right now, so it could be broken the way they're looking at it, but they're starting to strap it up just to get him back out on the ground.
Thanks, Maxie. 5 disposals for Josh Jenkins, 3 goals. That's a very productive afternoon. Trying to come forward again now, the Adelaide Crows. And Douglas does just that, sends them forward. Walker, a long way from home, right there within Homch, and takes the body, gets the ball over the line. This is how it happened at the opening bounce of the second half. Friendly fire, I think.
Hartnett, I think it was, just running into him.
It's a tough, hard-in-and-out player. He'll have a few broken noses over his career, I suspect, Wines.
To Jacobs again. Crouch. Atkins' quick kick in his first game. Right. Now they've got the numbers, Port Adelaide. Broadbent took the mark. They did this very successfully against Collingwood late in that match. Last Thursday night, Hartlett having a big numbers game. It's not a great kick, but Ebert onto it, clever to Need. Needs run and carry. So important a moment ago. He's gone. That is a big tackle. You wouldn't back Brodie Martin to bring him down, but he did. That was huge. And then Martin to square it off.
And Jacobs went shorter. It was a good kick. Crouch has got the footy short. So back to Martin. He's playing a role. He's been important, and Tex Walker, that's a very good mark. Walker in the hands. Honch was right there with him. Had to stick, and it did.
He hasn't really been able to get separation, Walker, most of the contest. Even that one, he led, but Holmes can stay with. That's the tackle. That's, of course, the turnover. Took him on need, but once he couldn't get rid of the ball. But from this particular kick, just a nice, strong mark on the lead.
So Walker's kicked 2-1 this afternoon from his 10 disposals. It's kickable from there. He's right on the 50 when he lets go. He was always to the right and just to behind. So Adelaide's lead now 18 points, 15 at quarter time and 17 at half time.
Broadbent. Last time they went down the middle, it cost them, so I'm not sure where he'll go. He's gone short. It was down the middle, though, to Ebert. Boak running for Ebert. He hasn't been able to spot him. Cleary's son just for the moment. A couple of parts of the ground. Lynch with courage. Got back. Kept his eye on it. Spreads it. Led. Short kick. OK, he had 3 to choose from. Jacobs to Crouch. And that's a bad kick. It was meant for Betts, but O'Shea was in the hole and cut it off. Hugs the boundary. Lynch again in the frame here. Well done, Lobie. Lynch taken over the line. Boundary throw in. There's Wines patched up, ready to come back. Just 20 years of age. A magnificent young player. What he's done so far has been so impressive in his short career.
Plenty of tape, all patched up as we said. And clean possession. Jacobs, that was very good. And then the quick one for Atkins. So a high ball inside 50. It's a tough one to negotiate. Honch runs onto it, and then Walker dumps him into the ground quite fairly. No, the umpire has said a push in the back, has he?
I think it's a ball up.
Okay, up it comes. Yeah. Well, that's good because
strong tackle.
There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're going to sling a tackle, that's probably the way to do it. Martin, who's getting a lot of the football. Jenkins stretching, not quite. Trengove, Cameron had him. He got out of the Cameron tackle. It's still alive here. Dangerfield works it back. Jacobs' kick was smothered. That was important. Atkins over the footy in his first game. What a game to make your debut in. You come in for AFL football and you start in a showdown. He's the 14th player to do it, Bruce. What an introduction.
Been terrific. Clever tap. Betts onto it. Yeah, no, misses. It's at Dangerfield over the back.
It's interesting at the moment. They're trying to get Broadbent loose in the back half. Port Adelaide are really having their extra play around the stoppage. Normally that will mean they'll be better in the stoppages and the ball is going to be stuck in the Crows' front half. Sometimes the spare defender can stop the opposition scoring, but it almost makes the ball stay in that area.
They're not quite getting a Goldstein ride today, Lee, but Jacobs is winning most of the time.
He's been good, yeah, he's been good. I think it was the third up jumper that got the ball really clear then.
Ryder's kick, but Crows in the spot, but Brown just couldn't find the footy there. Wingard, Monfries, Wines, with all the patching up now. Stewart and McKay. So this is interesting, Lee. I reckon Tex takes his left arm away when he's slinging. I reckon he's really aware. He bridges the fall of
yes,
I think he was protecting the bloke.
His head hit the ground a little bit, but yeah, that is, I think, a kind of tackle that players have to do. Don't sling them too hard head first.
And I reckon that's in response to what's happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Dangerfield important there. Got the ball to Douglas, right down the wing in front of the interchange gates. It just gets over the top and over it goes. So that was interesting, wasn't it?
I agree with that. I think there is a duty of care. Once you've got the guy's arms pinned, you've got to just make sure you're in control of his body. So there's something of a duty of care not to bury his head in the turf on the way down.
So Lobie caught behind here. He stands a couple of metres off Jacobs and then in the end worked his way to the front, but straight down to Douglas. Good tackle, Boak. He hurried the handball as a result. Impey trying to release. Martin's applied very good pressure around the ball. Let's have another look at it, Lee.
Yeah, well, he's brought him to the ground. Okay, you can do that. He really went with his body rather than slinged or slammed, which I guess is a term we tend to use. It's almost what your terminology is, what your definitions are.
Just felt he was aware of what's happened in the last few weeks. So. And look at his arm come down here. Walker's to bridge the fall.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jacobs doing so well. Douglas has had a big match, running hard, kicks to fall forward. Walker did brilliantly there, used his man Homch. Homch up for it though. Tex doesn't go to Betts, he's gone I think. He had the reflex maybe to go to Betts and decided not to, and Porter out. So big play here, even at half-back.
Got it from O'Shea. So Walker needed to give the first one, didn't he? And Impey now. So Port, they worked it back from 34 points to 17. They've got to work it back again here. Impey takes on Brodie Smith. That was adventurous. And in the end, really a nothing kick out to Schulz. The ball was too high and just knocked over the line pretty easily by Brown.
Been a great contest, Homshin and Walker's got the strength, but Homch has got the speed and the agility. So it's kind of interesting the way they're trying to tactically use their strengths against each other.
And Douglas might have won that one. Lynch appeared to be held by the arm. Wright's done really well, and now Jenkins maybe should have left it for Eddie Betts, but Lynch kept going. Well, this is good. Lynch gets inside 50. Could he possibly finish from there? No, and Broadbent in front of Cameron. Important mark, plays on quickly, and now Porter out.
Ball movement going to be vital for both teams here. Monfries, how quickly can they get it down? Westhoff and Ryder with the two there. Need doing the roving, but gives it up. Atkins looked all right, actually. So's this guy, Knight, the two new guys. 3 games between them. Henderson, Crouch has played well. Not a great kick off the boot, but oh yes, Tex or Eddie, take your pick. And the captain steps up to have a shot for goal. As Lee said, it's been a terrific clash. He's had 4 shots on goal, Walker.
And again, the back in the middle, I know I've sort of harped on this all day, but the number of times that both sides, that's why it's been a fantastic game of football, because they've attacked. They've attacked and came through the middle, through the dangerous part, which gives you the forwards the maximum opportunity to get on the end of the kick.
Kicked a couple of goals in the first showdown. This for 3 today. He's got it. And Adelaide stretched the lead again. So Walker with 3. Jenkins with 3. Gee, that's a good return, Lee. 6 out of Jenkins and Walker. I mean, you'd nearly take that at the start of the day.
As I said, I think the break-even point goal-scoring wise for the big key forwards is about 3 in modern footy.
Well, that's
3's the back even, so they've got their break-even now. Can they really put a bit of... You get 4 or 5, that is a really, really good return. So they've both been good players, good forward targets.
And at the other end, Schulz has a couple, and Ryder has got 3. So they're good contributions for that sort of player today.
Well, Tex Walker kicks his 3rd goal. Good matchup, that one. Homch has played 14 games this year, only 16 goals conceded, so he's won 17% of 70 one-on-ones. He's been really hard to beat. Tex Walker, though, starting to have influence. Tex Walker going very well.
25 goals in showdowns now for the captain, and the last 2 making it increasingly difficult for Port Adelaide. Both, though, did well down to Wines. So they're inside 50. Brown, well done. Forced the ball towards Douglas. He's held up. And up it will come again. Hartlett right on top of him. So the last 2 for Adelaide. And it is getting harder and harder.
Straight out this way. Don't block. Who's rucking? You two? Okay.
That boy's got to try and find out.
So
block, Port Adelaide. I asked if you were rucking and you blocked him.
So that describes it all. There was a contentious free kick to Ryder earlier today. Kicks to fall forward. Schulz being held here. Didn't get a crack at it at all. Laird takes the mark.
Again, the small player being prepared to jump up in a pack, offence or defence. If the big guys are wrestling out of the footy, even the small guys can outposition them.
Jenkins got in front of Ryder. Boak got it as far as Stewart. Back to Ryder. Good hands by Henderson. Releases Dangerfield. Charges away.
Kick now down towards half forward. Out in front to meet it. Cleary, Eddie Betts. Good tackle. Cracker. Running away from half back, and this is a really good ball to Westhoff in the middle. They can go now. This kick, tough one to mark for Schulz. It had a little bit too much on it. Lever mopping up perfectly. Well done, Crouch. And now Adelaide might be away. Clever work by Henderson. Still they go. McKay's handball, okay in the end. Gathered by Knight. Now Lynch inside 50 for 3 in a row for the Crows. They're going to take some stopping now.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Baz. Great call. They are going to take some stopping. They're scoring at will a bit. This is the problem for Port, I think, Lee. When they go forward, efficiency all day. But
it's a really open game. I'm just reading it's 24 plus 37, so there's been about 61 stoppages. So there's been a fair amount of stoppages, but when the ball's in motion, it's just flowing. And both sides are scoring quite easily.
Well, Port Adelaide sub Aaron Young has become pretty accustomed to the green vest over the past couple of years. He couldn't get it off quick enough. Brendan Archie out of the game. Aaron Young right in amongst it.
And needs to impact, as he often can, so does, because Port just need the next goal. Thompson.
He's going to kick it the wrong way.
He was. Gray. Good stuff from Gray. Westhoff goes for goal. And he had a man wide in Impey who was really on there and decided to go for the shot.
You could read Thompson's mind, didn't you? He was about to kick it the wrong way. Oh, I better not kick it.
This is a moment in showdowns that Port need a Wingard, a Gray, a Westhoff. They're the three sorts of guys you feel have got to do something here for them to get back into this.
So Brown, that's his view. He kicks to himself, hugs the line. Dangerfield, not quite. Boak gave it back to Dangerfield. And now Paddy tears away through the middle of the ground. Walker had a man on in Cameron. Needed to go shorter. That was a good pick up by Cracker. Important, but the kick not spot on. They work it across to Walker. That's okay. And now through the middle, McKay. Got it from Knight. Inside 50. Here's Eddie Betts. He loves it here. He'd love one in the showdown. And he does it. That's his spot. Simple as that. That is his spot, Lee. He has owned that little bit of turf.
He loves that pocket.
Since he's come over from Carlton.
You can see when the ball, I mean, the number of loose players. I mean, the game is just flowing so beautifully today. It's a wonderful game of footy to watch. A great spectacle. But Betts, he's going to centre it. No, not quite on. But the beautiful little banana off the outside of the right foot, he does them beautifully. It's a nice lead now, 6 goals.
Yep.
That's the problem. Port are looking dangerous in the forward line. They've kicked their 9 goals, not too bad, but 15 already to the Crows. They just cannot stop the Crows' scoring power.
Adelaide have kicked the last 4. Adelaide 10 individual scorers, Port 5. Massive numbers for the Crows here. Wines, Wingard, arches the back, gives it everything he's got, and kicks the ball forward, and he couldn't quite hold it. It was online. It may have gone through, but Need was committed, and now a big turnover. All coming back. There you go. There you go. Cometh the moment. Cometh Wingard. He's a special player. He gritted his teeth not once but twice. They need something really big from a couple of blokes, and he's one of them, I reckon, Lee.
Well, it's not only the goal, it's the inspiration of the goal. And the adrenaline rush that can give the team that's been struggling on the scoreboard. Got him in the centre square. As soon as he got the ball in the centre square, he was going for a goal. First possession.
It's like he decided here, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to get it started. It may as well be me, and the follow-up just brilliant. 29 points, Adelaide's lead. So after 4 in a row, finally they arrest that slide. They've got to get the next one. And Wines, a big effort from him would help. Inside, Wingard again, handled to Schulz. Hartigan right there with him. It'll come up again. Wingard's gone down, and is that holding the ball? Against Schulz, and Wingard went down, but play goes on. Jacobs has got the footy on the wing.
Slow to get up, Wingard. Here's Crouch. Back to right. Right, trying to draw the free, couldn't quite. Stewart in the back half. There is Wingard, just collecting his senses. They'll need him in the last quarter, Port, to have any hope. Westhoff floating everywhere at the moment. It feels closer than 5 goals, just because you feel like Port is capable of scoring heavily. Ebert, good mark against a couple. But it is a very big lead. And Adelaide have been up for it. Cracker. Wines courageously. Got to score heavily, though, Port. They probably need another 8 goals at least to have a chance. Not a great kick. Hartlett spreads it. Wingard gets to 52 metres. Low and long and bouncing. Monfrey's goal coming back hard. Off the back of Chad. There's another Chad that played some pretty good games for Port in these corns, but Monfrey's chips in, and suddenly, Lee, you feel like there's a bit of a surge from the power.
Absolutely, there's a sniff. They've got their 2 consecutive goals. They've got one of their really inspirational players, Wingard, into the action. It becomes a critical centre bounce because the goals create this adrenaline rush, get a bit of momentum in the team that's actually just scored it. So all of a sudden, the scoreboard, they've got a bit to make up, but all of a sudden they're in control of the game. Well, then, so this centre bounce becomes critical from the Crows' point of view to match that extra effort that the Port have been able to summons.
Oh, so influential, Chad Wingard, in the last 2 goals. He kicked one of them and made the other. And they come back again. It's less than 4 goals. So Dangerfield trying to get things going the other way. It was well read by Homch. He peeled off his man, Walker. Read it very well. Hartlett, he's been the best user of the ball. Young goes along the ground for Boak. Can he get away from Crouch? Didn't need to. As he goes back to Hartlett. And the kick now. Bouncing ball for Need. Need, brilliant. Brilliant sidestep. A bounce. Will he have another? He runs inside 50. The finish, not quite. And importantly, though, it stays inside the field of play before it goes over. A little bounce. Gee, that was electrifying. Just probably going too fast to be able to control the kick. Thrown in inside 50 for Port Adelaide. They've kicked the last 2.
Lobie, unopposed really. Shawls, Young, still with Young. Boak, he can goal from here, Boak. He does. That's a captain's goal, isn't it? Port lifting here. Gee, Maxi and Sodas, you're down there. I mean, can you hear us? I mean, how good is this?
Just took a couple of goals, Bruce, and they have come alive, of course, heavily outnumbering the Crows fans, which are stuck really in the general admission seats at the top of the stands, and you can feel that real momentum swing in the crowd. They are right amongst it.
What's happened, Maxi? What's been the change in the last couple of minutes?
I just think they've been winning around the ball, Bruce. Jacobs is the one who was on top, and they were winning clearances. They've won about the last 4 clearances in a row, and their midfielders are really starting to get on top. They've thrown Broadbent in there now for a bit more speed as well.
What a reaction from Travis Boak. It is 170th game for the club. So 4 goals to apiece in this 3rd term. What a quarter of showdown football. And Port Adelaide, they want to come again. Broadbent gets the clearance out of the middle. Impey caught behind. Tough one now. He's given away the free kick. Laird's free. Well done. He had front position.
Your kick, high in the marking contest.
So it is Laird's free kick. Just to steady things down a little for Adelaide.
Suddenly they need a steadier, even though they're well in front on the scoreboard. But not so well in front as they were 5 minutes ago. Henderson's been pretty good. Doesn't need a lot of the ball to have an impact, Henderson. Goes down the line. Walker the target, pushed out of it, Walker, no free kick. Jenkins at the back, boundary throw in. It's been good Tex, he's kicked 3, he's had 5 shots on goal. He and Jenkins between them 6, Betts with the 1, Cameron with a couple. Jacobs, Lobie just won it. Young, had a bit of the ball, Young. Shawls, Wingard, Lynch, boundary throw in. So for a moment we collect our breath. Scott Camporelli on the right there, best and fairest at Carlton, premiership player. Went to the Crows for a bit, ended up at the Bombers. Got a terrific CV.
So after that little breather, we go again. Jacobs, Broadbent, and down in front. It was palmed beautifully to Thompson. It's been good, Thompson. Superb, in fact. 24 disposals. And Boak has been important in this 3rd term. Young now the sub. Boak with 6 disposals in this term. Young had it a long time and called for holding the ball. Well, possibly a bit unlucky there. This could be big for Adelaide. Jacobs, high ball inside 50, Westhoff, and the ball over the line.
Clearly that was the defensive kick in the forward half, but still a defensive kick into the forward pocket. Try and draw a stoppage. Deep in Adelaide have been able to succeed in doing that.
Jacobs, he's ruled supreme for much of the day. Wingard and Betts, we talked about them pre-match, didn't we? The comparison between these two great goal sneak small forwards. Wingard, of course, a midfielder as well. And Betts has done a bit of that himself this year. Douglas directing traffic. Martin, Betts, spinning and turning, held up by Cracker. Ball coming forward. Wingard has to chase, and he does. And Adelaide edge it oh so close to the point post, doing it by metres. Port really can't concede, I think, another goal. If they do, they've got to get one back, I think, before three-quarter time.
So less than 5 minutes to play now. It's a congested 50. Douglas on the end of it from Jacobs. Still Douglas. Eddie, we know what he can do from here. We've seen it before, but not this time. Are behind. Adelaide's lead 18 points. Of course, if Adelaide win, they will go into the 8th. They will replace Collingwood. So the stakes for them so big. And you wouldn't write Port Adelaide off with a loss, but it's going to be increasingly difficult for them to be able to make the top 8 and play finals footy this year. Westhoff over the line, I reckon.
A bad mistake, because it just relieves the pressure, brings the ball back into the scoring zone. Yes, I think they have to virtually win every match from now on, Port, after this, if they lose. So their task becomes really, really difficult if they can't get home today.
So can Port nullify any damage here. Jacobs lays it down, almost got a bit on it. Ebert broke the tackle. Good hands. Gray taking them on. Did very well, Gray. But his kick has been cut off by Brown. Monfries just couldn't quite get to that contest. Brown to square it. Adelaide with a chance to reset. Laird will go wide again, so they've changed the angles. Now, Henderson's a very long kick, but Martin doesn't go there. He goes to Lynch, who's certainly got the distance from here. And this could be a telling blow.
That's it.
It's a good play. They've done the horseshoe from one wing to the other, but that just opened up the centre corridor sufficiently for Lynch to drop into the hole.
He's the third sort of tall lead behind Walker and Jenkins, isn't he? And he's been pretty handy, Lynch. Kicked 2 in the first showdown this year. Kicked 1 so far today. It's an up and under. Oh, but it is straight through the middle.
And all of that, the Westhoff foot on the line.
Yep.
You called it at the time, Lee. It just releases the pressure. And in the end, it was pressure that they couldn't overcome. They couldn't get the ball outside of their 50, really. Just there was a wall across the middle, and they never overcame that wall.
The Crows have tried to just lock the ball in, which they did successfully for a minute or so. And then when the quick kick out, the rebound back in, second entry got them the goal.
A really important goal, wasn't it? Lynch now with 2 goals, both of them in this term. It's back to 24 points. And again, you feel like another one will make it very difficult for Port Adelaide with just over a quarter of football to play. Dangerfield, ferocious at the footy from the logo. He kicks down towards half forward. Walker's got some space here. Got away from Homsch, the ball off the side of the boot. Interesting. Well read by Wingard. He knew exactly where that ball was going, and he chopped it off well. No mistake this time from Westhoff.
To Trengove. Flirting a bit, but they did well. O'Shea, Cleary, Wingard off a step. Not a great kick. Lever to cut it off. Good kick. Jacobs has been the best of the big ruckman today. I say that. Ryder's kicked 3, but he's been more the forward. And good kick by Jacobs, and Wright, who's a bit of an opportunist in the pocket, but he hasn't been good from set shots right this year. He's 0-3.
Again, they've got the spare man back, Port, but it means that gets them field position really to the Crows, because whenever the ball comes, if the Crows get into their forward half, the bounce back comes to a spare Crows back half player.
So hasn't goaled from a set shot this season. Has he got it? They love it. Adelaide kick away again. It's been the pattern of the day, really. I mean, the scoring pattern has been Adelaide get the lead, Port charge back, Adelaide respond and get the lead, and we're seeing it again, aren't we, in this third quarter?
Well, there's 17 goals towards the end of the third quarter. You very rarely get beaten these days if you can generate close to a 20-goal game, and that's what the Crows are heading for.
Yeah, Port are probably just slightly above average at 12 goals, aren't they?
That's okay, but getting scored against.
Port Adelaide did it in 2001. They had 100 points before three-quarter time. Adelaide have done it here with the last 2 goals, so only the second time in Showdown history that a team has been in excess of 100 points before three-quarter time. Brilliant by Jacobs. It was a bad bounce that favoured him. The umpire didn't wave it up. Eddie Betts, after Jacobs kept going. Terrific. Now Young over the foot. He needs to get the ball away. Came off Jacobs' boot, actually, and then goes to Dangerfield. Need got him. Didn't stop the tackle, and Thompson crashing through. Came back off Brown. And now Laird down the line, but the mark taken by Young. Just drifted into the right spot, the sub. Marks on half-back.
He's been busy, Young, and that's what you want from your sub. Impey taking them on. Good hands. Boak looks up. Kicks to full forward. Shaw's not. Well done, Lever. Oh, Shaw's, is it?
Knock of the arm.
Yep. When I first looked, it looked fine, but I'm sure in the replay the umpire will be right. So he's had some big kicks, Jay Shaw's, in showdowns. This is massive. Just a bit over the shoulder.
Yeah, sometimes they're paid, sometimes they wouldn't be. I mean, it's a fair enough free kick because the arm did. I think it was the arm that drooped across the shoulder at the last bit after the spoil is what the free's been paid for.
Kick 5 earlier this year. He's kicked his third. Port keep on coming. Well, Lee, that was massive because 5 goals psychologically, I mean, 4's hard enough, but 5 goals psychologically may have been a bridge too far. It may still turn out to be, but it was a big goal in the end.
They've kept coming. Again, it's just been a magnificent game of football. Again, what I love about footy, we said it in the pre-game in the soapbox, Mac, I love high-scoring, close games, and it's not like head-to-head, but they're still in the game, Port. So even though the opposition kicked 17 goals, they've kicked 13, so it's been a fantastic exhibition of the sport today.
And this quarter as good as it's been. 6-3 to 5-2. Adelaide to have a 24-point lead, so we've got less than a minute to play. What Port Adelaide would do for a goal here in this last minute of the third quarter. Again, the umpire not recalling it, which was interesting. It was beyond the circle. Port Adelaide could be aggrieved with that. Eddie Betts, was that a mark? Walker not paid the mark. Thompson, good tackle, winds. Still the kick got away for a goal. That is enormous.
It's a goal. Can we just check to see if it was touched before crossing the line?
It's a goal. Oh, Lee, what about that bounce in the middle? I mean, Port Adelaide, we did the previous bounce also was very close to the edge of the circle. We still haven't got confirmation, by the way.
Confirmed goal.
We have now. So in the dying minute, it was Adelaide that got the goal. And, well, Port, they didn't seem to remonstrate, but just from the impartial view here, that could easily have been recalled.
Yes, well, I guess Ryder got to it. That was the point. Both ruckmen got to the point, but as you say, Basil, it was outside the outside centre line. Normally they recall those goals, but I don't know whether Ironside got the advantage from the ruck contest, so I guess that was fair enough. But Adelaide were the ones that got the ground level takeaway, and gee, there's been some fantastic offensive, penetrating centre square takeaways by both sides at various stages of the game.
And that tops off Thompson's day, doesn't it? 27 disposals and a goal. 12 individual goal scorers for the Crows, 7 for Port. Dangerfield and Thompson orchestrating so much. Betts getting lively. Adelaide have got that massive lead of 5 goals. Can they add to it? They're the only team that might. Crouch kicks long. Big fly from Martin. Jenkins will be hard to get down. Trengove, Gray,
Still with Gray, decides to build it away. He probably wants the boundary line. The clock's going to be okay, but Adelaide will lead by 5 goals at three-quarter time. That was the heaviest scoring third quarter in Showdown history. It's the heaviest scoring Showdown to three-quarter time ever. And at three-quarter time, Adelaide lead by 5. It's 114 to 84. Any match by 22 points to three-quarter time. 18 goals, plays 13. We've loved it, Maxi and Sodas. Not sure if Port can get up from here, but you feel like they're going to score at least pretty heavily in the last quarter.
Well, Maxi was heavy scoring, wasn't it? A really absorbing third quarter, but the Crows just keeping them at arm's length every time they come.
They are. They got back to 17 points, Port Adelaide, and they had the real momentum, but it was Thompson, Dangerfield, Jacobs, Douglas around the ball who really stood up. So the senior players for Port Adelaide, really important. For now, they've just got to go. They've got to go for it. Go for everything. Wingard, Boak, Gray, they've got to play on at all costs. They've still got the 3 tools down there, Ryder, Schultz and Westhoff. Get it down to them, give them an opportunity.
Massive crowd too, Maxie. The atmosphere is fantastic. The biggest crowd we've ever had at the redeveloped Adelaide Oval, and it's taken over from the cricket from a big bash game. So phenomenal, and we can feel the atmosphere. It's sensational.
So have a look at that, 54,468, the biggest crowd for any event here, any sporting event. Magnificent response, and of course so many people at Elder Park adjacent to this ground, so it's been a match fitting of that. The scoreboard's a bit lopsided though when you look at it there. Port have had many moments, but Adelaide have just had many more. They've been brilliant today, the Crows.
They've just been nipping around Port. They haven't been able to get within that goal or two, but they've just been nipping around the heels of Adelaide. Got the first few guys, as we know, the Crows, but Port have just at least kept the game interesting from attention.
Final term of Showdown 39 in memory of Philip Walsh, but the Showdown must go on, and Jacobs out of the middle. Bounces it towards the 50. Eddie Betts hit the ball ferociously. Cameron might win this race here. Impey was right there with him. Well done. Did not let him get away. And Cameron in the end did well just to get the handball forward. So it'll be thrown in inside 50. Tackle Impey.
Quick player he is, Cameron, but Impey's quick also. Kept on his tail.
46 clearances to 29. Adelaide really a big advantage there. Douglas, Thompson, he's been responsible for a lot of that, Thompson. He's turned over and a ball up.
11 of them, Bruce, Dangerfield 12, so they've been both double-figure clearance winners for the Crows. He's certainly been good in the air, Jacobs, so that combination of Jacobs and in the ground level play has been exceptional.
Ebert, Betts, well done. Dangerfield. 25 points, by the way, is the biggest comeback ever in a Showdown. So they're going to have to create history today, Port Adelaide, if they are to get up.
Hardigan here, he read it well after the big fly from Ryder. Henderson, Lever stepped inside. Robbie Gray did it really well. So a long kick down inside 50. Fisting away Cleary. Waiting for it, Hartlett's got it now to Boak. So he looks out wide. Westhoff is his target. Martin right there with him. And it's just bounced inside the field of play. It'll come in again.
So we've got to go back to 2000 in round 7 when Adelaide came from 25 points behind Port at three-quarter time. That's the biggest margin deficit at the three-quarter time break for a team to win a Showdown. Port lead the Showdowns 21 to 17.
Thanks, Richard.
Won 4 the last 5.
Here we go.
Most of the years, though, they've been shared 1 win apiece. Thompson, Knight, Douglas, a couple of good smothers in there. Hartler was one of them. Lobie. Is that a high tackle? I'm not sure. No, he had his head down. And now it's going to be holding the ball. So Port to get a free kick at half-back.
Put your head down into it.
We heard the ump. So Lobie to Boak. Boak, who kept the team together for a fair while at three-quarter time. Honch releases Boak. Great tackle coming from Walker. The two captains together. Back to Dangerfield.
They're trying to take it on Port Adelaide, but they ran into a brick wall. Eddie Betts. It bounced away. Ooh. It was a perfect kick in the end, out wide as it was, but just bobbled away from Eddie. He's given us one big highlight this afternoon. 1-3 he's kicked. He'll be disappointed not to have marked that one. So first goal here for Adelaide, and it makes it virtually impossible for Port Adelaide to find a way back into it.
Yes, it always starts at the stoppages. I mean, their clearances have been so good for the Crows. If Port have got any chance of picking up this lead, they're going to have to start really being able to take the ball away from these contested areas and running the ball away, not just quick kicking it.
We saw their intent last time, Lee. They tried to get it through the middle. A couple of good tackles, particularly Walker. That was good. Boat, Broadbent, Young. It all started with Cracker. Now Wines from the point of the square. Defensive edge. Monfries has got a big ball to win here. He couldn't get away. That was brilliant by Laird. Laird, good tackle. And now a high ball. So Adelaide, not only do they hold them up, they win the ball back.
Great call, Baz. That was huge by Laird because that was Port's opportunity to break. He put the first clamp on and then drew the high tackle from Wingard.
Hey.
Henderson short.
Thanks, Hamish.
Hardigan. It's a great buffer they've got when you look at that scoreboard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Hardigan down the line. Homch.
Holding Adelaide.
So it's against
It's Jacobs by the look of it. He got poked in the eye or something.
Yeah, so big source.
Patrick.
Blurred for the moment.
Move on. Play on.
So Thompson over 30 disposals. Cracker belting it away. So Thompson for the 68th time over 30 as Jacobs trying to collect himself here. Let's have a look, see what happens. Just poke in the eye.
Interesting. Still Jacobs. Well, he's got a problem now. I'd say his vision is really blurred, so he's made the decision to go off. Lobe, meantime, Wines. Again, the ball not getting far. The mark taken by Brown on his own. Now he's got Smith. They want to move the ball quickly. Martin's on. He's played some important moments of this game, and this might be just about the most important. He runs to the 50, close to the sealer, touched on the line. Right on the line, and how important that Port got up, because it was going to be a monstrous job to come back from there.
Port are getting the numbers back into these Crows forward 50 stoppages, but then the Crows have got one or two defenders just putting the wall across the middle. It's going to be, they only have to run it out, Port, and they just keep running into the Crows' brick wall across the middle.
Can they get it out here? Clearing. Goes as long as he can to Westhoff there. Half out. Wines. Careful kick. Boak is getting to the back. Wingard down low. Handball over the top. Shawls back to Monfries. It's missed. He's kicked a famous goal in the Showdown, Monfries. He had the best break of the ball of all time, but he misses a chance there.
Ricky Henderson holds it a long time. He's called to go now by the umpire. He won't want to get too close to the line. We saw that from Westhoff in the third term. He just plays the percentages. Good mark, Ebert. Only man with a run at it in the end. Now, here's a long kick of the footy, but this will be just beyond him, I would say. So might set it up for the tall men to fly. Wingard in front, not the tallest of them. Lever, he read it well. Now this is an important kick. He's done perfectly.
He played the percentages so well, didn't he, and got the good result.
There's a chance for Port with Jacobs off the field, because Jacobs has been really good against Lobe in these ruck contests, but while that eye injury has been tended to, the second option, Jenkins, is in there.
Ryder, Wines bursting through to Boak. Boak gets a fair bit on it, but he sprayed it away and misses a lot. It's a good point, Lee. So Jacobs getting patched up. We know Talia's been off the ground for most of the whole of the second half. David Noble down there for the Crows, the head of football.
Brown, long ball. Right at the back. Gains about 20 metres. Chopped off by Trengove. Dangerous ball. Man in front. Good mark. Ebert it was. Now Stewart. Attacking edge of the square, long ball down in the Schulz direction. Well done, Hardick, and he came with a big fly. Monfries, they're still in here, Port Adelaide. Next kick, oh so important, not quite. Didn't make it to Wingard. Crouch, retreating with a handball. Right, he looks up, and he sees Jenkins.
Gee, you feel like Port have missed a couple of chances in the last couple of minutes. Just couldn't quite find the target. Monfries, he tried to hit Wingard. It's been good, Jenkins. So Walker's free kick being held up. It's normally a terrific kick, Walker. Very constructive. Keeps it low. That one, he coughs it up. So that's not such a well-planned kick. So Stewart, Port just need to break a line or two. They have got to create here.
9 minutes of play and just one behind each. Boak, he knows what they need. Through the middle very quickly. Ebert. Now Robbie Gray goes with the outside of the boot, but that'll be okay to Homch. Now, can they move it forward? Stewart running hard off half-back. He's done that a bit. Cleary, anything to try and get themselves moving. Need, holds it up. Well done, Adelaide. They push back really hard. This is the Phil Walsh way. He would be proud of what he's seeing. Broadbent, though, long kick, and Ryder marks. On his chest, he's kicked 3. This to be the most influential forward of the game in terms of goals kicked.
Yeah, big forward arc when you ran the centre circle there. See, you just see the spaces, and they can't cover it all. Had to be a precise kick for Ryder to lead into.
So his best at the Adelaide Oval is 3. And he's got 3 here. Kicked 10 goals for the season now. And his all-time career best is 4. To do it for a 3rd time and keep Port Adelaide alive. Oh, bad miss.
They haven't got the options of being able to miss, have they? They've just got to be able to almost score from every opportunity to see if they can put the pressure back onto the Crows and give them. They got ambition at the moment, they got aspirations, but their hope would be quite low.
So right in that back pocket, Young. So Port kick getting inside 50s. Wingard. He's a very straight kick. So does he's got the distance here. Wingard, hasn't he? He can make the distance from here. This is about his range, I reckon, don't you?
Yeah, he's a confident man, isn't he, Macca? And you can see right now that he stood up in showdowns before. There's still a little bit of time if they're good enough. And I reckon, Macca, he is right on getting it from here.
Yeah, I reckon he's just close enough for him. He's normally so accurate. Gets inside the 50, strikes it well. He's kicked his 3rd goal and keeps Port Adelaide alive. He's a great young player. I know he's a favourite of a lot of us. He's set shots coming in today, Lee, were 18 goals for.
Yeah.
He is a finisher.
It's a beautiful kick. He handles the pressure. He's got a nice technique. So he's a really consistent kick. Gets his head over the football, makes good contact.
It sort of keeps them alive, doesn't it? I mean, there's enough time for them to win now, isn't there? It's going to be hard. Seen that before in showdowns. Those arms raised.
He got him going in the 3rd quarter, Macca, with a goal to see whether he can actually get him a sniff. This centre bounce becomes really critical.
Chad Wingard, 18-7 in 8 showdowns. Can they go forward again? It's less than 4 goals, and Gray, I think, has got a free kick here.
Thank you.
Robbie Gray it is. So they have got the break. Albeit not storming out of the middle. They set it up high. Ryder, he's been a target all day. Not that time, and then Laird's clearing kick. It's a high ball towards the middle of the ground. Homch, he watched it bounce. Good tackle, Hartlett, but still the ball got over the top. Walker, important here. Stewart, great tackle. Just got away, and the ball forward from Thompson.
Quickly on to Knight. Knight's been impressive. Kicks to full forward. Cameron can't quite get at it, and Broadbent marks. It's 50, I think. Well, they've got it to the spot they wanted it anyway, so it'll be Broadbent to kick it. So feel like if Port get the next goal, they're a realistic chance. I mean, it's obvious, I guess.
And then it becomes the Crows who sort of subconsciously think they got the game. They're 5 or 6 goals in front. All of a sudden, the panic can set in, but they need that next goal for that to happen.
Not a great kick by Broadbent. Gee, he was picked out Laird very well, didn't he, the opposing player? It was a very strange kick, and Laird, such a good season.
Had 50 metres to think about the kick, Bruce, didn't he? And then made a bit of a meal of it. Broadbent went high, trying to make amends. O'Shea, now Stewart, so important to the middle of the ground. Ebert kicks long and just losing his footy. They were so conscious of Wingard. He just fell over at the crucial time, and Brown took a good mark. Now to Lynch.
It's a poor kick by Ebert. So Smith coughing it up as well. So both teams giving the others opportunity. Port, often hear Ken Hinkley talk about playing with courage, taking on the opposition. Their season is finished if they lose today. They won't be coming back. Gray takes a beauty. They've basically got 10 minutes to keep themselves alive in this year. O'Shea to fall forward. Westhoff's in a good spot, and he takes the mark. He hasn't done much today, but he can step up to the plate right now.
It's one of the things that happens in the Crows when they went forward before the ball got turned over. The ball hangs in the air because they're basically kicking it over the top of the zoning defence to forwards behind.
So Westhoff and Ryder miss real gettables, don't they?
So when you're kicking the ball over the top, then the opposition third zoning player can often get across and get on the end of the long kick, because forwards these days rarely run towards the kicker. So the long kick enables it to be intercepted that much more often.
Henderson thought about going long, and then last moment saw Brown break for him. Jenkins, good mark on top of Stewart. And all of these possessions so valuable now for Adelaide, as well as keeping it out of Port Adelaide's hands. They're running down the clock a little, and the ball bounces kindly. Douglas, Thompson, Lynch to make it very hard, but he's offline. So it's 23 points, still under 4 goals, with a tick under 9 minutes to play.
Thank you.
It's a great kick, Hartlett Lee. How courageous can he be here? Well, he's found someone wide. It'll take a while to get there right. Coming back. Well, Monfries went early. O'Shea has to release. Does now to Ebert. Ebert releases to Boak. Will it sit for the skipper? It does. Monfries running hard. Monfries to fall forward. A one-out situation. Gray coming back. Was he held up, Gray? It's a behind.
Didn't get the bounce this time.
He had to go all the way, Monfries, but I guess late in the game, you're fatigued. Ran his 10 metres and decided to deliver the footy instead of really breaking the 50-metre line.
Boak's trying his hardest. 7 touches in this final term. Leads all comers.
Sam Jacobs back on, boys, really important, because Port Adelaide won 5 out of 7 clearances while he was off the ground.
So can they get the next one, Port Adelaide, to keep it interesting? Jenkins not quite the mark. Homsch just fumbling around with it. That was well done by Broadbent. Used the boot. Gets the football. Inside 50. Schultz. Free. No free, the umpire says. Waves them on. And it'll be thrown in inside 50. Port fans don't like it. Was there a case?
The two, they tripped each other, I think. I don't think it was the guy at the back.
Just an occasion.
Yeah, should be penalised, I don't think. Yeah.
Slip of the legs, yeah.
Right, a great tap. Young coming back. Awkward looking left foot. Bouncing ball. So important who this ends up with. Good stuff there from Henderson. Quick release from O'Shea. Wingard, great tackle, Cameron, but Wingard released the footy, and then O'Shea, great tackle by Brodie Smith. So 11 inside 50s to 7 in the last quarter. That's the tackle count.
Straight back.
Adelaide hanging on well here.
Ryder, not where it needed to go. Straight down Crouch's throat. Eddie, big fly, didn't mark, couldn't bring the ball to ground, and they might be in here. Impey got it across to Wingard. Then a high, ambitious handball that bounces Boak's way. They are in here, Cleary, and now The footy in the hands of Impey. He has one bounce. Jarman's a famous name in big games in Adelaide. He couldn't get the distance, and McKay just gets the ball over the line.
How defensive does Adelaide go in the coaching box, Lee? Do they?
I think they just play the game at the moment. I don't think you do anything sort of particularly. The scoreboard's not so much the issue yet. They got the lead, but there's still 7 minutes to go. So
Douglas. And so many good midfielders today. He's behind. They've got the numbers here, Adelaide. That's a great mark. Now Betts is on. Can Jenkins keep it in? He can't. The idea was there. Betts was released with a paddock in front of him.
the one thing Port can't do, they can't keep like a spare man back. They've got to take the punt in a bit, and the Crows will try and always float a player back, and Henderson, as much as anyone, will play that role. Getting up in the middle of the ground, the spare player, I reckon, for the Port is what the option should be.
They've had their chances, haven't they? 1-5-2 behinds. Dangerfield inside 50, right on the 50, Paul Stewart mark. So they've just got to go now. There is no time to waste. 6.5 minutes. They're going to need to kick 4 goals. Young swings the ball quickly. Cleary's under it and will go. Monfries is the shorter option. Breaking now is Schulz. Schulz with him, Henderson, and Schulz marked that one on the ground. He has. Very clever. We saw one disallowed in the first half. And that time, no worries. So there's 6 minutes or thereabouts left on the clock. He goes short and winds. Still about 70 metres from home. There's no time to waste now. Adelaide players have pushed back everyone beyond halfway, so it's a high ball lob. Might be the best option here. And the big ruckman stands up, and Lever and Crouch discuss it and didn't like it.
Well, it's a tough kick. Will he go back and try and kick the drop punt? Most players will try and do the banana left to right. There's Lobby. Lobby got that ability.
He's kicked a goal. Rarely would he have had a more important kick than this one. The margin is 21 points. This to make it 15 points with 5 minutes to play. He goes dead on, and he has kicked it, and it is still alive.
Actually, that is a fantastic effort by a bloke who's kicked 1 goal this year before today, Leo. He's kicked 17 goals in his career. That's massive.
Yeah, not much goal front open. He decided to kick the conventional drop punt, but
they're a chance now, Lee.
Kicked it beautifully. Yeah, now they clearly can't really afford the Crows to kick another goal. But they've got to get 3 goals in this last 5 minutes.
So 2 goals, 5 to 2 points. Lobe equals his career high with a spectacular goal. He's been out-rucked today, but they've got 5 goals out of their 2 ruckmen, Ryder and Lobe. This centre clearance, massive. Lobe gets over the top. Crouch. Lobe puts the hands on him. Winds. Bullocking. Can't get past Dangerfield. But it's a high tackle, and Port will get the clearance.
Huge.
5 minutes, 3 goals. They clearly can't let the Crows score another goal.
Winds gets up. Goes forward. Ryder. Nearly. Couldn't quite. Adelaide players everywhere. Lever to right. Right. Good kick coming out to Lynch. Adelaide with plenty of numbers around Ryder there a moment ago. Lynch off a step, turn it over.
Bad decision. That's where Lynch has got to hold on to her, kick it down the line. Now it gives Port a chance.
Oh, that's 52.
It is.
50. Martin, who we've called many times, has done a lot right today, but not that time, and just so conscious of not letting Port Adelaide get it away quickly, Lee.
Yeah, but it's all because Lynch played the ball on. That's when you have to be aware. Got it out wide, we've got a nice lead, kick the ball long down the line, we'll almost wait for our numbers to get on the end of that kick. But the turnover, midfield, 50-metre penalty now, the boat shot.
Well, we talk a lot about captain's goals in football. This is exactly what it means right here. The skipper of Port Adelaide to keep his team well and truly alive. It's less than 2 goals.
He's had a big last quarter, Lee. I think he's had 9 disposals in the last quarter, Bo. 10 disposals now.
And I tell you, it was critical when that patch of the game where Jacobs was off the ground. That was when they were starting to turn around the clearance situations, which the Crows had been so good at all day. But with the makeshift ruckman in there, Crows got the Port got a bit of a sniff in there. Now the scoreboard is the pressure point for the Crows.
So massive captain's goal. 10 disposals in the last quarter, 2 second-half goals. Wines was just superb a moment ago in the centre square. They need, again, a centre square clearance, Port. They've got time now. Suddenly, there's some real pressure on Adelaide again. Ryder wins the tap. Gray puts the first tackle on. Wines puts the second tackle on. Who's underneath all of that? I'm about to find out. It's Richie Douglas, who's been terrific. There have been so many good players around the fringes here in the hard stuff. Jacobs won it down. Ebert did the roving. Belting the ball forward. Not a good kick. Hardigan getting back. Henderson. Down the line. Strong kick. Cameron waiting. Impey comes across. That's a beautiful mark.
Now this is where you've got to be careful. Keep your composure.
It was huge from Cameron. Now Jenkins, fist on the ball. Well, he missed the ball, Homch in the end. Walker runs into Impey, and Impey held his ground. That time he was slung down, but he didn't have the football. And is he all right? He's slow to get up, is Jarman Impey. Port fans not in love with that action. Gee, that was swat away, wasn't it? 9 points. It's the closest it's been since the start of the second term. They've kicked the last 3 goals, Port Adelaide. They have made it a showdown to remember in the most memorable of circumstances. The ball back towards full forward. Free kick, it had to be for high contact. No whistle. Still Walker. Good recovery, Tringove. He kept going. Maybe unlucky not to get a free kick. Well, not maybe. I think it was high. And it will come up again, this time the right area for Adelaide.
Kick a goal here, the Crows, and they'll win. Well done, Dangerfield. Thompson, Betts, maybe the right bloke. Kicks across the face. Port can get out here. Monfries holds it back, decides to wait, does the right thing probably. Can he find a target? He's kicked to a one-on-one. Westhoff can take a mark. Doesn't quite. Picks it up. Back to Cleary. Port coming hard. Out wide to Lobe. Lobe having a big impact in this last quarter. We know Jacobs was off the ground for a while. Wanting someone to come to him, Lobe. Doesn't want to waste it. Kicks it to half forward. Schulz made a contest. Quick kick away from McKay. Important here. Knight in his second game. Makes a good decision. Releases Thompson.
So cool. The kick though for Walker on the half volley. They might be in here. Homch used Lobe. That's going to work out okay. It's a high looping handball. Ebert's got the footy. Wanting to move it quickly. Not a great kick. Oh, well done, Westhoff. He stole the football off ground and now wins a free kick for high contact. Waste no time. Goes to Ebert. The kick inside 50. Well done, Henderson. Fisting away. Huge ball, this one. Laird came hard. O'Shea the other way. Schulz, he just couldn't release the handball, and they might tie it up 51 metres out from Port Adelaide's goal. It's a 9-point ball game with 1 minute and 45 to play.
Jacobs. Clock
set up here. The Crows have got the extra play around the stoppages. Port have got the extra player behind the footy. He has to push forward front of the centre square, I reckon, to make sure he might get the ball in a dangerous area.
Cameron needed a good bounce. Monfries gets a high tackle. It was there. So Monfries, Adelaide have got they've got the numbers back. Monfries decides to go long. Schulz couldn't quite get a run at it. Wingard gets down low. Gets it to Hartlett. Hartlett gets it out to Boak. Boak to Gray. Gray hooks it back. Kicks the goal. Big names for Port Adelaide. What a game. Biggest crowd ever at the ground. Phil Walsh's memory. All of that comes down to this. A minute to go. It doesn't get any bigger or better than this if you live in Adelaide.
You don't have to live in Adelaide, Macca. This has just been the most fantastic game of footy. 18 goals to 17. 3-point margin with 1 minute to play. Got the tension, got the competitiveness, got the closeness.
They're great players, Lee. Gray, Wingard and Bouquet and Hartlett.
Found a way through.
Closest it's been since 90 seconds into the game.
This is where the Crows, they put an extra couple behind the ball because now, once the Crows get possession, they should be able to hold the game out. So
just three forwards, Lee. They've only got 3 forwards forward the ball. Adelaide, they've cleared it right out.
So the biggest stoppage of the game. Ryder, he threw it out, no whistle though, and they might get another opportunity to clear it out again. A little lucky there, it was interesting. Ryder swatting it forward in the end. 56 seconds left on the clock. Adelaide lead by 3 points. Ryder, brilliant. Dangerfield got over the footy. It's still bobbling away. There's still a chance. Port winds over the ball. Now Cracker, a little fumble. He gets his kick away.
And Lynch takes the mark. Maybe that was it. Gets it out wide. Betts has got it. The crowd favourite. The two chairmen together, David Koch and Rob Chapman, the two clubs together, as they almost are on the scoreboard. Lobe belts it away. Ebert held up. He's gone for holding the ball. Adelaide are going to win. Phil Walsh's team are going to win. It's the closest showdown ever. Showdown 39. In the closest match in the history of the two clubs, Adelaide win by 3 points. They're in the 8. Down to you, Maxie.
Well, I'm with Patrick Dangerfield. What a game, mate.
Oh, Maxie, that last quarter, we played some good footy, and then they really got a roll on, and we just weren't able to win those critical contests in the last. But great fight from everyone at the footy club tonight, and that's a really well-deserved win.
After the last few weeks, mate, it must mean so much to you.
Yeah, it does. It's been words can't describe the last couple of weeks, and we're not Phil's family, so we can only imagine what they're feeling. But he had such an enormous influence on not only our football club, but the Port Adelaide Football Club as well, and so many people within the AFL industry. It's a hard-fought win, and one he'd be proud of.
And the guys were really close to him, yourself, Tex Walker, Scotty Thompson. You guys look like you really steeled yourself for a big game today.
Look, it's do or die for us. It was such an important game for us to win. It just gives us not breathing space, but it really gives us confidence that we can mix it with the best. We know when Port play their best footy, which they showed in that last quarter, they're as good as anyone in the competition.
Mate, well done. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks, Maxie.
Great stuff. Let's go down to Mark Soderstrom for the presentation after the showdown.
Well, a big thank you to everyone for coming along for Showdown 39. What a ripping game that it was. I'd now like to invite the chairman of the Port Adelaide and Adelaide Football Clubs, David Koch and Rob Chapman, to present the trophies for today's game, and they are accompanied by Phil Walsh's daughter, Quinn. Welcome along, Quinn. Just over 2 weeks ago, we tragically lost Phil Walsh. He's a life member of the Port Adelaide Football Club, where for 11 seasons he was an assistant coach, including 04, of course, the premiership year, and Phil was the senior coach of the Adelaide Football Club. To mark his significant contribution to both clubs, they have decided tonight to rename the Showdown medal the Philip Walsh Medal for today's game. It is my pleasure to announce that the winner of the Philip Walsh Medal for Showdown 39 from the Adelaide Football Club, Scott Thompson.
Firstly, thank you very much to the Port Adelaide players for another fantastic game. Today was definitely played in the right spirit. To the Adelaide Football Club and the Port Adelaide Football Club, a job well done on celebrating the life of a fantastic man, our late coach, and a bloke that spent many years with your club, so well done on that. And to all the supporters in here today, a fantastic job as well with the tributes. It's been overwhelming for everyone. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to invite the captain of the Adelaide Football Club, Taylor Walker, to come up and accept the Showdown trophy.
I think everyone come out today to expect a great brand of footy and 3 points, so really proud of the boys. Thanks, Port. It's been a tough couple of weeks, but we're great to be in footy club, so thank you very much for all your support. Thank you.
Congratulations to Taylor and his team for getting the job done. The compassion and the support that has been provided to both clubs since Phil's tragic passing has been quite overwhelming. The Adelaide Footy Club, the Port Adelaide Football Club now invite you to stand and join in a minute's applause to acknowledge the wonderful contribution and the legacy of Phil Walsh to our wonderful game of football, and to say thank you to the football public and the AFL industry for their support, their love, their prayers and their kindness for the Walsh family and our two clubs here in South Australia.
Well, what a beautiful young queen she is, eh? Phil Walsh's daughter, and the two chairmen of the clubs. It has been a day to remember. Scotty Thompson in his 23rd Showdown wins the medal, the Phil Walsh medal for the first time. It was Adelaide by 3 points over Port Adelaide. Magnificent moments. Maxie's just joined us from up there, and he'll... Dangerfield did his bit. He was superb. You just spoke to him a moment ago, Maxie. I mean, it was just one of the great games of football, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.